And we are live.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Reserve Poker Club in Toledo, Ohio. And this is another 3-hour excerpt from our tournament play here at the $1 million prize pool guarantee, $200,000 guaranteed first place. And we are going to be covering day 1E tonight for a few hours. My name is Vic Gager, and I've got our buddy here, Eli. Frenchie.
What's up, Vic? Happy to be here. Happy to be in the box with you. For first time today. Should be fun. First time calling the tournament action.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to get in here.
Yeah, so it's again, we are trying to give a little taste of some poker action as we move through the Millie. The Millie starting on April 3rd, and the last day one is coming up this Saturday on the 12th, and then day 2 the 13th, and day 3 the final day, Monday the 14th, when somebody is going to be crowned a champion and a minimum of $200,000 for first place.
I mean,
and you've been dealing how many days now this week?
This is my first day in here for today. They needed one less dealer until the end, so this is my first taste of it today. Came in early, and man, the action is already booming out there.
Yeah, and the excitement level is off the hook. I mean,
yes.
We've seen that every day coming in. We have, some days are typically bigger, and so people always ask us, well, what day should I play? Well, with the $3,000 multi-bag bonus, you play as soon as you can,
yeah.
And then you bag, and when you bag for the first time, you get $1,000. And then when you bag another time, it's $3,000, and another time it's $3,000. So you want to try to get as many in as possible. This morning was the last of our morning satellites. So we had some 10 a.m. satellites starting last Thursday. This morning was the last one, but we still have, what do we got? Today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 more 7 p.m. satellites. Those are a $65 buy-in. And yes, it starts at 7 p.m., but you don't have to be here right at 7. There's still some playing time before late registration, typically around 10 p.m. So if you look at your watch and you didn't quite make it after your daughter's softball practice right at 7 p.m., don't fret. You can still get into the satellite if you get here by 10 o'clock. And so Eye in the Sky, all-knowing Eye in the Sky, James.
All-knowing.
We're looking at a screen here that wondering if we're ready to start. We're coming very close to starting off.
Yeah, $200,000 minimum for this first place. I see it going soaring over. We'll see just how high we can get it, but this is you can feel the energy out there every time. We got people with multiple bags out there trying for their second and third ones, maybe increase their chip stack. But it's exciting out there. You can feel it. Everybody's ready.
And speaking of ready, there we go. We've got the action starting. Again, this is day 1E action, and we're going to start. Looks like 7 players. We're going to have up on the right-hand corner, you asked for it, there it is, how many players are remaining. So in this flight,
yes.
141 entries, which means they're playing down to the top 10%, 14 players. And Eli, you haven't been in the booth for these, but because of the recording, there is sound on the table. We just aren't hearing it.
Yeah, they told me about that. So it'll be interesting to get through. But I think we'll be able to read enough from the action going on here.
Oh, no doubt.
Yes,
no doubt.
Starting off big with my buddy ECJ in the box.
I've been calling him Young Eric.
Young Eric?
Yeah, I like, though, ECJ.
Yeah, ECJ.
Huh.
The 3 call letters always works well.
So you're a hold'em player yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And
play a lot of
a little mix of tournament and cash.
Certainly.
Do you have a preference?
I certainly prefer cash. I'm not a long session guy usually.
Okay.
The tournaments usually do it, but these big tournaments always get my interest. The big tournaments are where it's at. I mean, it's the only chance I'll ever have to turn $600 into $200,000.
Yeah.
That's for certain.
Yeah, it's just an incredible value, as Don would say, max value.
Max value.
And we do have a member of the Max Value Mafia there in seat 1. That's Zach. And then Mario, Braden, Abe, and Andy. We just saw him the other night. So he's taking another stab at this. I believe Andy has bagged.
Okay.
And so you can go to the Facebook page of the reserve, and you will see an update as to all of the people that have bagged so far. The chip leader is still at 1.74 million.
Wow.
And you can see we went from 61 to 58, just like that.
Yeah.
Up in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful setup here. Already getting in some early action. 3-betting with the ace-jack suited here for Jason. It's gonna take some getting used to. First time in the booth next to Victor. I'm gonna have to stop using your catchphrases. Now I got to use Dom's now that he's not here.
Mario,
Oh,
230,500 in front of him. The blinds are at 1,500, 3,015. So he's got a good stack. He's looking at a raise here now. A 3-bet with ace-jack diamonds from Jason of 22,000. Just about 10% of his stack or less to make this call for Mario. And he's gonna bow out. He sees the potential for some other action going on between the 3 players to his left. He had 4 players to his left when he made that fold.
yeah, it looks like it was, Abe, who, the one who does have him covered was the original raiser there.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't want to get into too hairy with him. He was definitely considering either 4-betting or folding, though, is what I think was going through his head. Opted on the fold early on.
And
Hard to
remember, we
argue.
saw ace-king folded and a queen hits. So that's big time for Bradley here, who was the one that 3-bet this. And he's going to push all in with that top pair. Rainbow board. So this is probably going to go through. And that turns out to be a heck of a fold for Mario pre-flop.
Yep, and there it goes. Takes it down. That'll be a nice pot. Nearly doubling up, not having to put all his chips at risk versus a call. Always feels good when that happens. There's a little look at the outer tables right now. Everybody just hoping to be on that final table on Monday. Monday's the final, right?
Yes.
Yeah, final table on Monday. Day
Monday
2 on Sunday.
Monday the 14th.
Yes. A good day for anybody who's still in the tournament for that.
And we've got Texas Sub checking in, and Busy says Eli with a question mark.
Yeah, busy. What up? I was just talking to your aunt. Yeah. I didn't see when I came back here. She was in as of an hour ago, but I don't have a current update on her though.
Andy now with pocket jacks under the gun, 15, 3, and 15. He's going to bump this up a little better than 2x, 7,500.
Not sure if he was going for a double bag today or not, but Andy I dealt to today.
Mm-hmm.
He's in there. There's another ace king.
And the 3-bet now to 22.5. $15,000, and Andy down to 58,000. This is a bit of a pickle here, Eli. You know, if you're going to call the 15,000, then you're just going to have, you know, that amount back. If you push all in and you think you're not ahead, you know, this is, and you can see Andy trying to make, and sure enough, there's the all in.
Yeah, if he had more, it would have been a really big decision because he raises under the gun. Zach knows that, and is still 3-betting him. So you know he has a really good hand. But I'm with Zach or with Andy on that one. He just didn't have enough chips to really want to get away from it there.
Yeah,
and he'll take the race here.
He'll take the race. It's an absolute race. Unfortunately, a king right in the window. So now 2 outs for Andy. And his...
Oh, there it is.
Wow. Action, folks. Hand number 3 of our feature table of day 1E, and we're already getting some great poker action here.
All that 50-50 means that all 5 cards out there, and that includes the jack on the river once in a while. And there it is, saves him.
Oh, Busy is Karen's son? Oh, yeah.
Karen's nephew.
Yeah, nephew. Yeah,
Yep.
Karen's still out there.
Yeah, awesome. I was just asking her what you've been up to if you're going to make it down here. Action on that one. That'll get your heart racing there. I mean, just one survive can turn the whole day around for Anny.
Yeah,
there.
and now Zach, unfortunately, down to 3
Yeah.
big blinds after that hand.
I didn't realize the stacks were that close.
That's a
brutal.
tough one.
Yeah.
You know, we talk all the time, Eli, about having the right, and it's the same thing for cash, but, you know, typically in a tournament, when you take that kind of hit, I would say a typical player or a less than average player will just say to themselves, I'm done, right? And then the first opportunity they get, they're going to shove. Other players can be very patient and work that back up again. Zach now, I don't blame him with pocket eights. He's going to push all in. This is the time to do it.
Right into,
and now he's
right
getting a little protection here from Braden with pocket kings because Braden pushes all in with 55,000. So Zach now looking for some help. Looking for some help from young Eric or what did you say?
ECJ.
ECG. I got to write that down. I got to write everything down.
Yeah. I try to give a little nickname to them all. Oh, that's going to put Zach out of his misery, though. King on the flop.
Yeah.
That's it. Tough way to go out there for Zach. Wow.
Yeah.
But, piggybacking about what you were saying about going down, we were talking about this a little bit during the cash games. Phil Hellmuth was talking about the World Series becoming too long and people getting fatigued, and that's just a part of it. You're 8-9 hours into the day, and then you take a rough beat, you put it in good, you take a 2-outer on the river. Even if you got 10, 20 blinds, the fatigue is on you, the bad beat, you're tilting. It's very tough to battle that.
It is. You've got to be prepared in so many different ways. It is a physical grind. I mean, it doesn't seem like a big sporting event playing poker for 8 to 10 or 12 hours, but it is a grind.
It
and then
absolutely
it's
is.
a grind mentally as well.
There's people out there already talking about it too. You know, they're here 4 or 5 days in a row. They're playing a satellite every day. A main event day 1 every day. You know, playing cards in the air 12 hours every day, and it just wears on you. Who can stay sharpest, stay on top of their game the longest, catch somebody in that moment of weakness is what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So we go. Got a button open from Andy here.
All right, we got three players going to the flop.
Right.
A raise from Abe with the ace, but 2 nice hands there to his left, and boom.
Oh, Abe, I got it mixed up. My apologies. Abe raised that.
That is going to be some action, I believe.
Yeah, certainly looks like it.
Although they're kind of holding each other's cards a little bit here, but information-seeking bet from Abe, and the deuce doesn't change anything.
Certainly one of those hands. All 3 players like their hands. Nobody really loves it just yet, though.
Right.
Jason in the lead really wants to charge, but it's really tough there because if he's behind, it's in bad shape.
Abe probably got excited when he saw that deuce, thinking it was another 3, but
Yeah.
right now he is in the lead, but they're going to check it around to a free card. And that is a brick. The check mark for Abe depends. Now, if I was going to put money on somebody going after this pot, I would put it on Jason. Even with that bottom on the flop,
Yeah, there he goes.
he's still going to go after it and be aggressive. There's a lot there to be concerned about if you're Abe.
16-5. Or about half the pot he puts out there. I mean, even with the ace here, it's tough to believe if he's really going for a value bet here that you have him beat. A lot of hands to bluff with, though, and he has one of them. Yeah, see, Abe agrees. He doesn't like this spot one way or the other.
No, and he seems to be
Yep.
not too concerned about Andy at this point, just looking past him. And he does make the call, and a very profitable call, 42,000 adding
Nice
to
call.
his stack. I cannot blame Jason at all for taking a stab at that, the way that betting came down.
Everybody's play makes perfect sense there. Abe was like, you could want to take that down. Andy was in between them. It certainly didn't seem like Andy was too interested if he was really going to check it 3 times with a big hand. God bless him. Nice call. Nice call with the ace.
And
No kidding.
Sharon joining us on the chat. Thanks for joining us, Sharon. And thanks for everybody. Looks like we've picked up some more viewers here. Just to remind you, we are the Reserve in Toledo, Ohio. This is the $1 million prize pool guarantee 4-year anniversary celebration. $200,000 guaranteed to first place. And we are covering a few hours of tournament play here from Flight 1E.
Abe riding high from the last hands, picks up another ace.
Yeah.
Opens again. And again, Andy, eerily similar to the last hand. Ace with a wheel card versus a suited queen. Suited queen jack instead of queen 10 this time for Andy.
And Andy's going to call. And Bradley, he wants to protect that big blind. So he's going to stay in the hand with jack deuce, 3-handed going to the flop.
If he has to show that jack deuce, that's going to send a mission right there. This big blind is not going to be easy to take.
Couple of hearts, 6, 7, 9. And, I was just going to say, the aggressor could put a bet out there and possibly lose a couple of players and take that down, but instead he checks it, and now Bradley, sensing that there isn't much there for Abe and Andy, and his spidey sense right now is pretty accurate, so he puts a bet out at 12,000. Half pot.
Yeah, 6, 7, 9. I do understand why Abe just checks behind. That should be right in Caller's wheelhouses. Nobody has it, though.
Yeah.
Bradley figures the razor doesn't have it. Nice bet there. Takes it down.
Very good move. Again, this is a feature table, and with 141 players entering into this flight, we are down to 57, playing down to 14. Eli, I'm going to bring you this action here till about 9:30 tonight. Want to give everybody a live stream taste of tournament action here at the Reserve.
It's a beautiful sight. Everybody here clamoring for one thing. That's at least $200,000 at the top.
Yeah.
They all want it.
And, as I like to say, a handsome trophy. One of these nights, while we're doing these, we'll try to get a shot of that trophy. I know I can coordinate. We can coordinate that with the all-knowing eye in the sky, James.
That's funny. I meant to take a picture with the trophy today. I agree. That is a good-looking trophy.
Yeah.
The money's a little bit better of a trophy, but something for the mantle is always good. Here we go. Joshua opening up with the beautiful ace-king suited. Bradley defending out of the small blind this hand. Suited connectors. Everybody loves it. And oh, look at this flop.
Man. He checks it. Check, check. Free card. Let's see if this next card will get Joshua into some trouble. Not a bad card there for Joshua to stay out of trouble, but Bradley still checks it.
That's a sneaky second check.
That is a very sneaky second check.
A sneaky third check.
Wow. Huh.
I mean, he did all he could, as it turns out. I don't think he was going to call anyways. even with the ace king. That board just got too sketchy, but
So with 141 entries in this flight, and the $600 buy-in gets you 50,000 in chips, and then there's an optional $10 add-on for 10,000. That's a dealer appreciation add-on. So basically, everybody starting with 60,000 in chips puts us at $8.5 million in play. 57 players means we've got an average chip stack of about 150,000. Just to give you a feel for where these players are at. But the blinds 15, 3, and 15. Nobody's really in dire straits right here. Eli, Michael at 48,000. I mean, he's still 15 big blinds. Jason at 20 big blinds. There's still you still got some poker action, even if you're looking across the table and seeing Mario with 230,000.
Absolutely true. We got two and a couple of big stacks out there. Abe and Mario, both Mario at 273,000. But yeah, especially nowadays, the way poker has been going, these short stacks are they're fighting more and more. It's not just an automatically 10 to 15 big blind shove all in every hand you play anymore. People chug along. They might make it 2 or 3 big blinds and fold still. That's certainly in everybody's arsenal nowadays. The meta has really changed as far as short stacks go into tournaments.
Oh, Miles, you're right. $20 add-on. Excuse me. I had that back. Yep.
Yeah, 10 on most days. 20 here for the Millie.
20 for the Millie.
Appreciate everybody who helps us out there.
Yes. Appreciate it very much.
And here we go. On to the next hand. 57 players left already. Going down quick. So this starts right after the break, like it is today? Is this right?
Yes.
Right after the dinner break?
Right after the dinner break, and we've got some very crafty editing on behalf of the all-knowing eye in the sky, James. So there will at one point be a break, but we have edited this. We're going to just have a smooth transition and not even have to step away.
Yep, we'll get a 5-second break is what he told us.
Quick enough for me to check the weather. Heads up action now. Mario. Jason just had 8s. He's going to limp in with Jack 10. No callers except for Mario, and Mario gets the best of this bottom pair, 2 pair. And he wants to see where he's at. He bets it. Mario is not the kind of guy that goes away very easily.
No, Jason either.
And Jason either, and sure enough, yep. Check, free card. Oh, I thought that was the other 3. Wow. A bet of 6,000.
Yeah, it's just a good bet. It's going to be hard for Mario to fold here.
It really is.
Seems like the Jack's the only way he's beat, and certainly has it. And yeah, as expected, gets the call. Nice little value bet on the end.
So you dealt today. I always ask when somebody comes in after dealing if they met people from other places outside of our immediate area. Did you have some out-of-towners today at your tables?
Well, first of all, I walk in and I see one of the dealers. I just moved back from Vegas in December, and it's a guy who I worked with briefly at Caesars right across. I go, Jimmy. I see him, so immediately I know somebody from all the way in Vegas. But I was about to bring that up earlier and forgot. I find it incredible how far people come for this. I mean, this really is the premier stop. It's a $1 million guarantee, but from as far south as Tennessee and Georgia, somebody was from today.
Yeah.
And then all the areas around us, all types of Indianapolis and Pittsburgh is a big area that comes in here a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, our friends in the southern Ohio come up from Columbus and Cleveland. It really is, and then all the Detroit people from the north all come down for this. They don't get good tournaments up there. Everybody just hit the stop at the Firekeepers. The MSPT was there. This is the next just natural stop here in the Midwest, and it really is a breeding ground of poker here. It's beautiful to see. I love to see that.
Early to act, Jason with Ace King. He's going to do a 3x bet here to 9,000. Michael now in the cutoff, and Ace 10.
early in this one, only hand 10. We've seen ace king 3 or 4 times.
And he's down to 46.5. Again, a dilemma there. I understand. You're going to call off 9,000.
Yep.
And not really a situation where he wanted to shove either. So if he's not going to do that, then he's going to may as well fold, and he does, and no other callers. So Jason, 3 hands in a row here for Jason. He had the 8s and then the 10 jack and now ace king on a run good. Trying to get up closer to that average chip stack right now, which is about 150,000.
Yeah, we got Jeff in here checking in from Iowa.
Yes.
Yeah, always beautiful to see everybody in the chat from all over the place too. I think we talked about that already, Jeff, before. One of the cash days I was talking to you. I've spent some time in Iowa myself.
Under the gun. We saw this earlier. Andy under the gun picking up jacks. This time he's going to pick up kings. Behind him, Jason getting 8s again.
Much different scenario here. Under the gun raises.
Yep, it is. Absolutely.
Yep. You don't want to lose those. Looks like a 3-bet.
It sure does. Jason getting after it here with the 8, 17,500. Now ace-jack of hearts. This could be a big hand, folks.
There he goes. The ace-10 wasn't good, but the ace-jack certainly is.
Yeah.
Ace-jack suited.
And as the bumper sticker says, it was suited.
Yeah. Andy can't believe all this action he's getting behind him.
Wow.
Look at that. 9s. But Braden had I can't believe 9s is just an easy fold there, really.
Yeah.
And through all this, the guy under the gun, the first raiser, is sitting there with the goods. The King Kong, pocket kings. There he goes.
Yeah. Now, tough decision here for Jason, or at least the way I play, it's a tough decision. Jason is a different breed than I am. He is a more aggressive player, and he likes to be in big pots, and sure enough, he's going to make the call.
Yeah, he says we're not going to play a big pot without him.
No, 240,500 in here. There will be a side pot.
Michael goes from a short stack to a big stack, a legitimate big stack if he wins this pot. All he needs is an ace.
And Kimberly, I'll address that question in just a minute. Yeah, Bob M., let's not forget the Canadians.
Yeah, I dealt to a couple Canadians today, too. My apologies. That is absolutely true.
Boy, we get the best view here.
Yeah.
I just love this seat I have for this action.
Yeah, I'm enthralled here. Just getting it all set up. One little ace, and he's back into this tournament with a big stack. King trying to become a force in this. And, ace and a jack.
Wow, what a flop.
Oh,
my goodness. And the queen comes.
And there it is.
And Andy will take this down. Eliminate 2 players from 1E. Kimberly Cole, this is a $1 million prize pool, total prize pool guaranteed tournament, $600 buy-in, and guaranteed for first place is $200,000. In between that, the minute you bag, you make 10% in a flight. You go to the cage and you receive $1,000. If you play another flight and you bag again, that's another $3,000. If you bag again, that's another $3,000. So all of that bagging money is part of the $1 million prize pool guarantee, and then you want to make it to day 2. Too early to predict where the min payouts will be, but top 10% from each flight going to day 2, and then that's when the min payouts begin up the ladder. And so there's plenty of money to be had here, even if you don't take first place in this tournament for a $600 buy-in. And I hope that answers your question, and we appreciate the question very much.
Yes, Kimberly, so nice to hear from you. Thanks for coming out and supporting. Yeah, no kidding, BXG. A sick hand. I mean, the best hand wins, but it always comes down the grossest way possible. Just like the Ace-King versus Jack's hand we had earlier. Just a 50-50. All the boards count the same, but, man, when that 2-outer comes on the river, it just feels worse.
Now we're heads up. Andy, when you're running good, you're running good.
Running good. Loves those kings. Defends the min raise from the big blind with the king 5 offsuit. Flops a king.
Joshua with a continuation bet wants to see where he's at. He gets an answer. A $5,000 call, and now some more outs here for Joshua. As not only can he win this with an ace, but also the gut shot and check, free card.
Hits a pair, but not the one he needs.
No, but this could help. Up, Andy checks it. It's not a great board to bet into. I don't blame him with that king 5 with the kicker, but he's just going to take down back-to-back pots there.
Yeah, there's a small chance he bluffed, but yeah, but hits the queen. It's got enough showdown value. Going to be tough to blow him off a king if that's what he got. Just checks behind. Joshua starting to get low there now, though. Had the ace-king and raised it, completely whiffed. Had the ace-queen, whiffed. And now all of a sudden, sub-20 big blinds. Here we go. And number 13, Bradley leading soft.
Joe comes over. As you see the top right-hand corner, we're down to 55. 9-handed, so as we lose players, we continue to keep the tables balanced. And Abe playing his position. He's going to raise this up, and it's going to be 6-3 versus 6-4, but he got Andy to fold.
Joe want to mix it up right when he gets in the hand here.
Oh, and they each get a 6 here.
These are the type of pots I like to watch.
Yeah.
Who wants it the most?
Now we saw Abe earlier in a couple of hands when he did flop a pair, and he was the pre-flop aggressor, not put out a continuation bet, but he does this time. And this is still a coin toss, however. No, they both have chopping outs as well, so I thought maybe that 4 made a difference. But it does now because it's 2 pair.
Yeah, it was only the 4 versus the 3 that could undo this chop. There it is. It's Joe who leads out now, though.
Yes, Joe's going to lead out for 10,000. And we saw Abe make a pretty good call earlier with his ace on a very thick board. And I'm not surprised. He's going to make that call with the 2 pair and take down a profit of 25,000.
Yeah, Joe might have waited one street too late to try that move there. Oh, there's one of our cash game buddies, Ninja, there in the outer tables.
Yes.
Ninja and Miles at the same table. They do bet on the cash games and on the tournaments.
Yeah, they know each other pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And I see we've got some more folks joining us tonight. We're going to be going till around 9:30. We're giving you 3 hours of poker action, tournament action, for our Day 1E. And you go to thereservepoker.com. You can get all the information on the tournament itself and the satellites. But also on YouTube, we have the current list of Day 2 players, Day 2 qualifiers, and their bag amount. In the meantime, we're going to $2,000, $4,000, $2,000 Anny. Under the gun, Joshua's going to pick up ace-queen and raise this up to 10,000.
Yeah, see, here's a little bit what I was talking about. The meta changing. He's got 52,000. About 12 big blinds, 13 big blinds. Not that long ago, a year or two ago, that's just an automatic shove with the ace-queen. Now he's mixing it up, raise it. I'm sure he wouldn't fold to a 3-bet, but doesn't just automatically jam it in. And this gets him a little action from the 7-6 that would fold for 13 big blinds.
Yeah. And Bradley has shown that he likes to protect his big blind here.
Certainly. This is an easy call for him, though.
Yeah.
See this flop. Oh, here we go.
Wow.
The chips are going in on this one.
Yeah.
Love this bet.
I do too. I really like this. Granted, particularly with his chip stack.
Yes, particularly with his chip stack. It gives, if Bradley had stone nothing, it gives him just a glimmer of a hope if he wants to try to bluff it.
Yeah.
Thinks he might be leaving him 32,000 behind just to be able to fold. But he does have the flush draw, so that makes it even easier. But you never expect him to have a queen here.
And now a full house.
There's the check mark.
Check mark.
Yeah.
And a snap fold there from Bradley.
Bad card for him in one way, but with that stack, he'd rather just check the check mark there than risk elimination, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Nice hand.
So a little breathing room here now for Joshua as he's pretty close to 20 big blinds with the blinds at $2,000, $4,000, and a $2,000 Anny. Again, this is a featured table, so Andy being the chip leader or Abe and Andy being chip leaders here at this featured table, but nobody really, again, in too much trouble. And even if you're Joshua at 76,000, you get into another big hand and double up, and you're right back to having the average chip stack.
Yeah, certainly after that last pot, that put him. You do not want to just double up, Joshua. And honestly, that was a good play by Bradley. A lot of people, he bets the 10,000 on the flop. He's got the flush draw. A lot of people just jam it in right there and try to take it down. He sees the bad card, gets away, only gives him the 10,000. Every little bit matters.
Yes, it does.
He could have been closer to 100,000 here. So honestly, well played all around by both of them. And then look at this, Joshua with a little bit of chips now gets in there with a Jack 7.
Yeah.
now they don't want to mess with him. Momentum is always hard to quantify, but it's certainly different in tournaments and cash games the way it all works. Just the vibe people get, all of a sudden people start messing with people less. Sometimes there's one person that just gets 3-bet relentlessly. All of a sudden they win a big pot and that stops quickly. All jockeying for position here. Let's see what happens. Hand number 16. I was curious what Abe would do here. Very early position, but king queen is still plenty. $4,000 big blind. He'll make it. He'll make it 9. Joe with the nemesis here.
What were we just saying? You can't. But he likes the fact that there was pre-flop raise and a couple of callers, so he's going to go ahead and jam.
Completely different scenario than some of the other ones. He's got the queens. He's got a stack. He's got 18,000 in dead dollars already in there.
Yeah.
This is... And now Abe's got to wonder. All of a sudden, it looks like Joshua's playing loose.
Yes.
He's in every hand all of a sudden. Not sure the king-queen's going to quite cut it even with that, but he's definitely thinking about it.
He is.
Yeah, not quite enough, though.
And this is a tough call here with Joe with only 85,000 back. I mean,
yeah, a little bit too late. You really don't want to be dominated. If you knew you were against something like tens or nines, he with that kind of stack and the dead money in there, he'd love to gamble. But yeah, just too likely that you're not gambling. And he'll let it go.
Yeah, and Joshua now on a run, good. And as I mentioned, we continue to now 54 players, divisible by 9. So we're going to have a full table here as we shift people around. We get the question from time to time, how do we choose our featured table? Well, we don't. It's random.
Unadulterated poker
it's
here
unadulterated
at the Reserve.
poker. We don't manipulate that at all, nor if you're playing here in a tournament and it's time to balance a table, we always go to the next big blind, and that person gets moved. You know, when I'm working the floor, I always announce to folks, that we have a process. Speaking of Canadian verbiage, we have a process for it, and it's nothing personal. Because, we hear people from time to time, oh, man, why do I got to move? Yep. And you're always picking on me. But no, we're not. It's a process.
Well, here we go. Yeah, we got the second Mario in here. We don't pick the players, but here comes Mario, who chopped the three-way in the Mega Bounty.
Yes.
That's my buddy. I know him back from Michigan. Obviously a good player for that last tournament. Played lights out.
Yeah.
One hand I gave him a little grief on, folding the tens, but who am I to say? He could have lost that hand and everything would have been different.
Heads up action now, Braden and Pat.
Interesting little flop here.
It really is. Pat just coming to the table now with 157,000, right around an average stack. And Braden's going to make the call with that middle pair. He is in the lead.
Yeah, see here, these get interesting here. Everybody calls with these little suited connectors. They have dreams of their opponent have pocket aces, trying to catch a sneaky two pair, sneaky straight, and winning a big pot. But here it is, third pair. It's still good, but he's up against the pressure.
Yeah, and out of position.
Yep. Yep, and he just folds up. Yep. Nice play there by Pat. Knew right where he was at in the hand. I would assume a second barrel wouldn't work if he had a jack, but thought he had less than that, and it worked out great. Nice hand. Shout out to everybody in the chat already. Already up to 111 people watching. We really appreciate you guys out there. Anybody who wants to see more of this content, give a thumbs up there. You see more in the feed. The more this gets out there, people who watch other poker streams, our streams will get into their feeds. We'll grow that way. $1 million tournament, as big as it gets nowadays.
And our feature table chip leader, Andy, picking up pocket fours under the gun.
Yeah.
Blinds at 2, 4, and 2, and he's going to bump this up. Little bet control. I like it. 9,000.
I like it too. With the chip lead, you do want to keep the pressure on.
You've got to. You really have to. You can't, when you're in a chip lead situation, Eli, you just can't sit back. I mean, you've got to use those chips. They're tools.
Yes, absolutely.
Just like a carpenter's tools.
Yes. You earned them. You want to use them too.
So we got a pot of brewing here. Abe needs 5,000 to call, and he's got pocket sixes. I see Abe in my crystal ball, I see him making this call, although he looks like he's considering a 3-bet here.
Yeah,
No,
I'm not sure if he was really considering or trying to look like he was, but this is. I mean, I think this is a golden spot. Two people with big chips. This is a set mining paradise.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have not. I thought you asked if this was the place.
Another interesting little flop. Braden with the worst hand, but is the plurality at this point. A 57% chance to win the spot. But Andy has the chips, has the betting lead, and he will have the C-bet.
Yeah, he's going to come out with 11,000 here.
I'm sure there will be one or two bluffs posted tomorrow.
Abe wants to
spot.
see another one.
Tough spot. Definitely can't blame to see what he wants to do on the turn here.
And the board pairs.
Interesting card. Interesting card. Flatters often have that card. There's flush draws out there. There's straight draws out there. Look at this. Now this is interesting.
Yes. So curious to know if Abe's got a read here or he's just got some gamble in him. Because you've got to be willing to gamble. You've got to be willing to put pressure on. And Andy is not a believer. He's going to make a call.
They're both suspicious of each other.
Yes, they are. And there's a brick, but it is the third club.
Yeah, interesting.
Nope. Now it's on the front right too. Right in the middle of it. Front right.
There's a world here. Abe has bet. I think he believes he's bluffing.
I think you got it.
But there's a world here. Andy hasn't believed him all along.
Yeah.
If he puts him on a straight draw, then he makes a hero call,
Get it?
and a value bluffs himself.
He really took over control of this hand,
Nope.
and it's paid off for him, that aggression, although he had the best hand. But
Still a good bet, because if he checks and Andy fires, he's folding the sixes. So
Yeah.
still a good bet there. And here we go, seeing more of the outer table action there. Starting to dwindle down a little bit. 52 left on this day of action. 141 was in. Hopefully we don't get too confused with the graphics here. Two Marios in action here. Oh, Bradley's beautiful chip pile just got knocked over. All that hard work.
Raise to 10,000. Fold.
Under the gun has been hitting action here in this game today. Joe opening it up with the ace-8 suited.
another little pocket pair here for Abe. Needs 8,000 to protect. He's now the chip leader at this feature table. And he's going to do that, but right into Andy, who picks up ace, queen of hearts.
Doesn't really,
And Andy makes the call. So three-handed.
didn't seem to consider the 3-bet too much.
He did
but
not.
I do understand that out of the big blind. Threes hold strong after that flop.
Continuation bet here from Joe, making it 15,000. And Abe and Andy. So we got a pot brewing here. 77,000 in the pot so far. Here we go to the turn, three-handed.
There we go. I wanted to see a heart or a club.
Yeah.
That king definitely. I always feel like in tournaments, especially when there's a pre-flop raiser, everybody wants to put everybody on ace-king. So whenever those aces and kings come, whether it's there or not, piques people's interest.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how this one works out. Andy even picking up the flush draw, though. Just checks. And Joe slows down here. Hard to argue with that one after 2 calls.
Oh, and Andy gets that runner for the flush. Talk about being confident about your flush. Ace queen with king 9 up there, king 9-8. You know you got the nuts. There's 77,000 in there. You've got 2 pretty aggressive players, one on your left, one on your right.
35. Yeah, there's a couple train of thoughts there. A lot of people, when they go runner flush, they like to bet big.
Yeah.
It's very hard to put people on those kind of pots, but the way this pot went down, there's just a little bit of bobbing and weaving. There's a couple callers. People have some stuff, but it's hard to believe they have anything to really call a big bet. So Andy downsizes a little bit.
Yeah, and Joe hits that 8, and that's troublesome for him when you think what you were just saying with the runner. It's hard to put somebody on that flush.
Yeah, Joe's
and nobody bet the king, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Joe's probably considering that is somebody slow playing the king, or he thinks he has the best hand. He's not considering the hearts too much. That's kind of one of those spots too. You think maybe if Andy bet a little bit more too, your radar's going off a little more, like he's trying to steal.
Well, and if Joe had 160,000 instead of 60,000, there's a really good chance he makes that call.
That's definitely.
But
part
he's
of
not
it.
putting in half his stack.
I agree with that totally.
On that board with a lowly 8.
Abe doesn't consider it much, and Andy takes it down. Nice little pot there. And yeah, Jeff here saying it played the MSPT the last couple of weeks. They always have the small blind. Let's say it's 2 and big blind 4, and it's 4 for the Anny. Yeah, that's a reserve special there, having the big blind ante equal to small blind. Most places it is a full big blind, so you're paying 2 big blinds and a small blind every orbit. Here, you're playing a big blind and then 2 small blinds every orbit. Seems to be a very player-friendly format and rule around here. Everybody seems to like it.
And it really is, and this is something that we actually experimented with when we first opened almost 4 years ago now, to the date. We were utilizing the big blind quantity as the ante, and then shifted gears into the small blind, and we got a lot of positive response. More positive than negative. People liked that ability to play more hands, to play longer, didn't feel so stressed out having to put that 2 big blinds in on the big blind. And so we came by that pretty organically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like experimenting, nothing's set in stone. It worked out well. Everybody seems to love it. And, dealing this earlier, there's at least a couple of times at the beginning everybody tries to put out the full big blind ante. People come in for it and stuff, and they get used to it. And I've never heard anybody frown upon it, that's for certain. Definitely a player-friendly rule here at the reserve.
Mario's been kind of quiet. Now he's got 6-4 of hearts. He's going to raise it up, make it 8,000 blinds, still at 2-4 and 2. And Andy been playing quite a few hands here, but you can see, no thanks, getting out of there.
Yep. Joe with the king 10 says that's plenty to defend out of the big blind here.
Now can Mario get Joe off of this? Because Mario's going to come out with a continuation bet. Just depends on how big it is. There's 20 grand in there. And he bets 4,000.
That's the minimum.
Definitely a feeler bet.
I gotta say, these downsizes, the small bets on the flop is all the rage. But the min bet there, it's just, it's hard to really get any information out of that.
It really is.
Even when you have stone nothing, it's near impossible to fold for that kind of stuff. New dealer in the box here, JB, my buddy Black in the box, pitching it out for us.
Mr. Josh Black.
How did someone bag with 60,000 in chips? That's what I'm curious on.
By the skin of his teeth. So a guy almost bagged with 35 last night. He bubbled. He grinded too. He got to like two different all-ins for 35,000.
And then follow that number up at the top right-hand corner. We are down to 50 players in this flight, playing down to 14.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the newer Mario to get into action. Show us what got him to the final table in the last one, but just can't catch any cards so far. And here we go. No, bunch of rags in this hand. We'll get down to blind versus blind.
Boy, Bradley had that locked and loaded.
Yeah, it's like he knew it was coming.
He tossed
I
that so
thought that
quickly. But Joe is going to make the call and protect his small blind. Queen 9 in a commanding lead here. Looks like 12,000, and Joe quickly gets out of the way.
Yeah, too beefy. He'll take it down there. Happy to take it down, but he didn't know what good shape he was in there.
You know, it's interesting. You see a lot of players in cash and tournament. Well, they'll play hijack, cutoff, and button aggressively. We've seen consistent aggressive play from Bradley in the big blind.
Yeah, that is true. Both in wider defenses and with raises. And so far, it's worked out well. Even when he, like I said, even when he called with that flush draw, he knew when to slow down, and it was proper at every step.
Well, like you say, Mario 1 not getting anything there. Mario 2.
Really not either. He tried
Nope.
to manufacture something with that 6-4, but he hasn't been getting anything either.
All right. So, limpers all around. Big blind. King, queen of spades.
Looks like a different color.
3X.
Wanted to be sure.
Let's see what he does here.
Bigger.
Yeah, 27,000. Much bigger.
Much bigger indeed. Well, you're going to find out quick if somebody was trapping there. That's one way. My humble opinion, that's a bit too big. You can figure out the same information for less, but some people, even with hands like king queen suited and stuff, they turtle up in the big blind. So I do love the aggression,
Yeah.
and he'll take it down. Be thrilled with that. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out there, Texas sub Kim Cole, worrying
Yep.
about the cashes. Once we get to day 2, we'll have all the final prizes, all the payouts listed. Be able to know everybody at that time will get cash when they get eliminated. Under that half-century mark there now, 49 players left on this day.
Average chip stack now about 170,000. So Mario 1 right there. Mario just above it. Braden, he needs to get something going here, and he just smooth calls with Queen Jack.
Any amount that goes across.
He is below 10 big blinds. Interesting limp here.
Yeah, Braden talking about what I was discussing earlier to the extreme there. Just limping with his queen jack. We'll see how that works out.
And here's a min click from Bradley on the button.
Min click with the limper already in there.
Joshua is going to protect. And then a call from Braden. He's looking for some help here. I mean, he is in the lead right now, but just kind of limping in with that queen jack against these other two players. And very interesting flop here. Joe's got the best of it. Everybody checks around.
It's really hard to find some interesting flops for these three hands, and this was certainly one of them.
No kidding. Yeah.
8-4 takes the lead.
I don't know if you could draw this one up in the sand or
I
not.
agree. And there he goes, Joe Springs here. Still keeping the bets small. Certainly hard to believe Josh is going to go anywhere. And no, they both folded.
Yeah.
Interesting. Nice bet there then. Denies the equity and just takes down the pot.
And Bradley's gains pretty much coming from aggression.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly are. He's taken down some pots with aggression. He laid low when he needed to. Got off cheap. Everything going good there.
So, RR, this is a pre-recorded. This is last night's Day 1E. So typically when we are going live, whether it's cash or tournament, then no, we do not allow phones. We do not allow smartwatches. But this was a pre-recording. Want to try to give some action every night, a few hours every night from the tournament, $1 million prize pool tournament. Good question. Thank you very much for asking. Appreciate it. And now we're going to go heads up. Braden, very interesting. Ace-Jack, like I said, coming in with a raise of 9,000, leaving 18,000 behind. He is in the lead by virtue of his Ace-Jack, and he's going to push all in.
Now, we'll say there's ups and downs with every play, and, this one with only leaving 18,000, it's a little bit different. But sometimes when you're playing that, min bet, when you got 10 to 15 big blinds and stuff, you run the risk of folding the best hand sometimes.
Yeah.
And when you're that short, you really don't want to do that. But here, Joe makes a good fold. The Ace-Jack takes it down. He got a little action that he might not have gotten with a full shove, and it worked out well. Yeah, Jeff, calling frequently in the big blind. Certainly that's somewhat by design with the big blind, Andy. I mean, the purpose is certainly to encourage action and keep the tournament moving. But yeah, we find that the small blind equivalent in the big blind Anny keeps the action moving. Definitely doesn't lull out the game, but doesn't quite put that full pressure on that the full big blind Anny does. So we like it here, the way we do it. And yeah, it's a fair compromise between everything. Not getting too cheap either. Here we go. Bradley picking up the aggression again. Had a mystery hand there for a second, 3-betting, but Josh has him put his cards in the box, and we see Pat has 3-bet with the Ace-King. See, but when he faces real pressure, he's out of there.
Yeah, he does. He mixes it up well, mixes up his game well. It makes adjustments. You got to be able to do that. Oftentimes, it's so easy, Eli. You look down at a hand, and for some reason, whether it's a big hand or it's a hand that you like, and you make a raise, and you get locked in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody comes in and raises that, and you don't necessarily take yourself out of being locked in on that and back into the situation to, take a breath, look at the player, assess the situation, your position, their chip stack, and all of a sudden you're just calling with relatively junk, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that assessment. It makes me it reminds me of the World Series keyword for a summer there. Remember talking about it on the broadcast, small ball. He seems to be wanting to play a lot of pots, put a little chips in here, there, and there. But when the pot gets big, he wants to have the goods.
Yeah.
Sort of like Joe here has here. The weapons of mass destruction.
Yep.
The pocket aces.
Pocket aces. He's going to push all in.
Not a second too soon, he says, and he's all in.
Blinds had just gone up to 2,500, 5,000. So just about 12 big blinds. 13 big blinds. Somewhere in that ballpark.
Abe having some deja vu. The second time he's raised with the king-queen and then got jammed over the top of.
Yeah.
This one, proportionally less. Let's see what he does here. He's reaching for chips. I'm not sure if he likes it very much, though.
Brian, no, Scuba Steve has not bagged yet. And Abe is going to make the call here. Let's see if he's got ace crackers.
Hates to see those aces there. Was hoping for at least a fair fight if he was behind, but he's going to need to get lucky here. Going to need runner.
So far, so good for the aces, and continues to be so far, so good that he gets the check mark. And big sigh of relief there from Joe. Now he's got some breathing room, 154,000. I'm sorry, 114,000. A little more breathing room than he had before he started that.
Are they going to have any cash today?
Yeah, Brian, I was just pulling up the day 2 list that was posted this morning, or 13 hours ago. Would that have been this morning? Yeah, somewhere around there. On our YouTube, I'm sorry, our Facebook page. And I do not see, I scanned it twice, once for the name Steve and once for the name Johnson. Did not see that he's on there yet.
There we go for Bradley. Another beautiful hand, the king-queen suited. Forgot that the blinds went up, tried to min-raise to 8,000. Josh correctly corrects him here. Up to a min-raise of 10,000. Mario 1 getting completely dealt out so far. 5 deuce in the muck. Mario 2 finally picks up a little bit of a hand here. Whether he loves the queen jack or he's been frustrated with the other cards, does not matter. He makes the call.
And a king right in the window here. Bradley not going to play around with it. Coming out with a bet. 30,000 in the pot so far. And he makes it 20,000. 24,000, I think it was. Anyway, there's another hand and a shot of the main room. What you're witnessing there is we're down to 46 players. So those, there's 6 tables in there. What are we, 5? 4 tables in there that are part of tonight's Day 1E, and then we saw a scan to the left earlier. That's where we've been having the satellite. So as of right now, we've got a satellite that started at 7 p.m., and that is one of 5 remaining. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm sorry, one of 4 remaining. I had to use my fingers. Satellites, those are $65 buy-in. I got a phone call today that I took into the club. The person was asking, well, do I have to be there right at 7 o'clock? No, you don't. On those 7 o'clock satellites, the late registration ends at around 10 p.m. Are you a right-on-time tournament kind of guy, or do you say, there's no way I'm going to come in late, I don't want to be behind the 8 ball?
If there's a legitimate reason, I'll be late. But I do think that there's some good value in getting there as close to start time as you can.
Open ender here for Abe. He bets it and takes it down.
Easy takedown there. Yeah, there's a lot of people think a lot of different things on that. I gotta believe that coming in early is worth it if you're trying to build a big stack. Obviously, you start early and then a disaster strikes and you feel dumb for doing it, but you got plenty of opportunities to especially these re-entry tournaments nowadays. How long they go. I want to have every chance I can at amassing a chip stack. I mean, you look at this. There's 45 players left. 14 are going to advance to day 2. But you look, our chip leader here is 275,000. They still got a long way to go for day 2. Average stack is going to be about right around 600,000 going into day 2 with 10% of the field left. So, I mean, you can't miss out on anything.
Jeff says you might miss out on some good hands, some good cards if you come in late.
I agree with you.
Other players, we had this conversation the other night where, we're talking about the grind. Let's get back to this hand real quick, and then we'll talk about that. Abe is going to call a raise from Mario to 10,000 and right into Andy now. Small blind, pocket tens.
There he goes.
There's the raise to 30,000.
With a smooth color in between. On the lighter side, just a 3x 3-bet here. But just looking at the hands, man.
Mario coming in with 9-8 of hearts. Abe in position now. And the thought process, part of that is, well, I think I'm priced in. I'm already in for 10. I need 20 more to call.
He probably wishes he could just take the 10 back and have folded in the first place, but now that he's made it this far and closing the action, got to see it flopping. Oh, look at that.
And he hits the flop. Andy not happy about that flop, but in this situation as the pre-flop aggressor, you've got to get in there and get some information. It costs some chips, and he makes, I think, the right size bet to get that information.
I totally agree with you there. If you're just checking and folding on every bad flop, you're not going to make it far in this tournament.
And there's the call.
And to be completely honest, Abe does not feel great about the situation. He definitely can't fold for the 30,000, but does Andy really think he needs to bluff here? Does he really want to ramp it up? I'm not sure, but if he did, that King 7 would be in a very tough spot. King 7, the Kevin. I don't know if you ever knew that, Nick. King 7 and King 8 are married.
Yeah, I didn't.
Kevin and Kate.
I like that.
Yeah, Kevin and Kate. They're married.
Kevin.
King 7 and King 8. They're married. Kevin and Kate.
Kevin and Kate. I like it. Check, check. A free card here, but it's a brick.
I like that check behind by Abe. There's a few reasons. One, the biggest one being pot control. You still have only the King 7. But second of all, you give Andy another chance to bluff. And if... Oh, he announced 50,000.
He announced 50 and a snap call from Abe. Andy didn't even have the chips across the line yet.
It was exactly what he was thinking. He wanted to give him some rope to bet. He knew he wasn't folding. Said 50, literally didn't even get his hands on the chips. Didn't even get cut out in front of him.
That played out very well for Abe there. And as I mentioned before, on the left-hand side, that is tonight's satellite, 7 p.m. start, and some very familiar faces.
Oh, this is right now?
This is,
or yesterday?
Yesterday at
this time.
Yesterday
at this time, gotcha.
Yep.
It's my buddy Dwayne there. That's why I didn't know if he put in a live shot on us. But yeah, as you see the extra tables we put in for this Millie event here. Normally had 17 tables. We had up to 22 now. And here we go, hand number 30. Blind starting to get pressure out there. If you just have a starting stack, you're at 10 big blinds.
Raised to 11,000.
This could be interesting here. They've already butted heads a couple times.
Yes, they have. Basically a min click here from Abe. And now a raise from Andy. 3-bet to 30,000. We're watching a chess match here between these two.
It really is. It really is. With 3 people in the pot, he goes from 10 to 30. And now with just Abe in the pot, he goes from, what do you make it, 11,000?
Yeah.
11,000 to 30. Just about the same sizing. The 7s definitely want to take a flop here.
And the 7's still in the lead. And a step back bet here, 20,000. What goes through your mind? You're sitting in Abe's spot and Andy does that step back. Do you sense weakness right away? Are you feel like the opposite, that it's a trap being set?
There's a couple things going through your mind. Andy, just from seeing this, I know I've seen him around. My initial thoughts is Andy's capable, and it could be any of those.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly not folding for the 20K, but I'm not feeling great about the situation.
Now Andy's going to pick up the flush draw. They're going to go check to a free card. The board pairs, but Abe gets the check mark.
See, but you just a check there on the turn. You pick up a lot of information there. There's a world that he has ace queen. People sometimes hit the turn and then want to kind of slow play then and check behind. But this seems like deja vu of the last hand. I would check and call, but Abe decides that there's a good enough chance that he has like 8s or 9s and wants to bluff is what I have to believe that is.
Or he wants it. Yeah, no.
And
And
takes it down.
he improves his stack by 60,000 now, eclipsing 400,000. And this has been, this feature table has been pretty much the Abe story.
Yeah. Yeah, close to doubling his stacks. Yeah, you the money is with us. Call, I do sense weakness. Yeah. Definitely not folding. You definitely want to see what he wants to do on the turn. It's hard to analyze these hands sometimes when you see the cards in your face. But I felt like I would have wanted a check call with that 7s, but if he had 8s, 9s, or jacks, he would have been a hero. Joshua, after taking a few hands off here, getting back in the action. He's worked his stack up to almost 100,000, a little bit over 100,000 now.
We got a pot brewing here, folks. An under the gun raise to 10,000. Pat pocket 10s.
Bradley jammed with the 9s.
After Bradley jams with the 9s, and
Pat's in the big blind. This is sticky.
it is sticky. You've seen an under the gun player raise, granted just a min click, and then a shove.
The min click doesn't give you too much information. You figure they're doing that with any range they want to raise with there. Bradley has been aggressive here, so I would have thought that he might have wanted to consider that a little bit more. Bradley doesn't know how good that jam really was.
Yeah.
Wow, nice play. But yeah, things like that, you keep the aggression up and good things happen. Great play there by Bradley.
And if you're just joining us, we are the Reserve, Toledo, Ohio. $1 million prize pool guarantee tournament we're putting on to celebrate our 4-year anniversary. $600 buy-in, guaranteed first place, $200,000. And we have more day one flight action coming your way. Today is Tuesday, so we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday day ones yet to see who gets in the top 10% of each of those flights to make it to day two, which is Sunday. And then we'll play down, and then we'll have our day three on Monday, the 14th. Suited Nemesis here. Min click from Andy. Kings are kind of cheap right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's see if we can find one on the flop.
Good timing there. Andy's going to take down the small, the big, and the Anny.
Folding too much.
Always find that, obviously it makes total sense when you think of the situation, but you almost feel deflated taking down the blinds and Annies in a cash game. But in a tournament, it's a big win.
It's a big win.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, particularly when they're here, and it's going to even and as each level goes by, these are 30-minute levels. As each level goes by, it becomes more and more important. Particularly if you're staggering, or if you're, just at around that average chip stack, and you want to be in Abe's situation, where you've got close to $500,000. You've got to fight for every chip you can.
Yeah, and more so in tournaments than in cash games. Those blinds that you pick up really multiply and snowball quick. You're in there. You pick up 3 pots that are just blinds and antes that maybe you wouldn't have all otherwise, and then you get a triple up with your aces that you've been waiting for all day. All of a sudden, you've turned that into so that's 1, 2, 3 plus the small blinds, so that's 6. They've turned that into 20 extra big blinds.
Look at the frustration on Mario's face,
Yeah.
and I do not blame him. He has not had a playable hand.
Yeah.
It's just something else. Pat raises up on the button, and there's just Mario's got no choice but to get out of the way with that junk, and he's got to stay patient.
He's showing signs of frustration, but
Yeah.
you got to believe, like I said, he came in top 3 in the Mega Bounty. There had to be times in that tournament where he was card dead for prolonged periods of time, and he stuck through it. Maybe he got a timely hand to get out of it in those situations, but I know he's got it in him to get past this. Let's see if it affects his play, because he's showing frustration on the outside. And again, pointing out, look at Braden. I mean, he's still plugging away here with that small stack. A lot of people would have just jammed that in. I mean, he had legitimate opportunities to have done that before. Didn't. Took down a pot or two. And now if he can just wait and find an actual spot, he can get back into this no problem. Very Phil Hellmuth strategy there with the short stacks.
Yes.
And I like seeing it.
Yeah.
Or just praying for a hand. One of the two.
Maybe both. You're not wrong.
Pat, after making a big fold with the 10s, seems to be rewarded here. Picks up the queens and 3-bets them.
Things average out with all this garbage I've been getting. If I start catching cards like I'm catching garbage.
Joe needs 17,000, and he is going to protect his big blind. So we're going to go heads up.
It was a small 3-bet, but
I think I folded.
he wants to get in there with the king 10. We'll see how this works out.
And then I had like ace jack or better for like 9 hands straight.
Nice flop for Pat.
Joe doesn't know how bad it is. His gut shot will get him out of this tournament if he stays in for it. You see, they got all the moves. See, here it
There's
is, the down bet with the
down
monster.
bet, the step down.
The down bet with the monster. And look at Joe. Might stress him into making a mistake.
Oh, and Joe now open-ended here.
So open-ended. Half of it will lose him the pot, give Pat a full house. The other half will give him the winner. Did pick up extra outs.
He's That 8 changed a lot. I mean, Joe's in a much different situation than he was on the flop.
I agree totally with that statement. With a second barrel and a brick, he gets away with it easily. You know, a lot of times after the down bet, the turn bet gets really beefy in spots like this.
Right.
But Pat correctly identifies that his stack is just 60,000 there, so he gives him just a little bit of rope in case he wants to try to raise it here, and he figures if he has a jack, he's never going to fold it, and if he calls half of his stack with a smaller pair, he's going to be stuck putting the rest of it in. So I really like this bet by Pat. A lot of people jam there. Yeah. Yeah, Joe doesn't like his stack. He feels like he needs to win one. It forces the action here.
And there's the brick.
Pat says if you check the 9 to me 3 times, God bless you, I'm all in.
Yeah.
And that's a good bet. This hand highlights being the aggressor, though, huh?
Yes, it really does.
It really hurts being in the spot here on the river, and you're defenseless.
Yeah.
And you've got 30,000 in chips left. He was never going to get Pat to fold, but he feels like he wanted to jam it in at some point. Now he's just trying to save a little face.
Yeah, shaking his head. That was a tough one.
Yeah, there was one hand in the whole world, a queen 10, that he could beat on the flop, and that they even got there. So he's just that is a doornail there.
That's a rough one.
Lucas, which Dave are you talking about there?
We'll see it. I honestly, I had Jack 5. Looking at the
Shot again here at the outer tables.
we only rehash the ones we don't win, right?
Out there grinding. We're down to 40 players here. Day 1E of our $1 million guarantee. $1 million minimum in the prize pool. If it goes less, we'll make it $1 million. If it goes more, we'll pay it all out.
I have 3 minutes till I have to push, and I heard I can join the Frenchman.
Diamond Dom has to make a guest appearance.
I mean, it is. I'll tell you what, Frenchie, it is just bumping out there right now. The satellite just picked up. There are, I believe, 8 or 9 tables on a Tuesday.
Yeah, if it filled
Like
up out there, huh?
It's like the song, going up on a Tuesday.
Going up on a Tuesday. You love to see it. We've got some action here. 40 left here on this day 1E, Dom. We've had some interesting pots so far. People going from rags to riches.
Oh, the swings of life
The
are
swings
at the table.
of life are at the table. Abe though started off with under 200,000. Has been owning it so far, up over 440,000 here.
I need that in my life.
And with Diamond Dom here, we got our little clique here. The Hollywood Rejects. Me, Diamond Dom, and Suggs, Suggs in the box.
Oh, yes, Mr. Suggs.
Those who know. We'll leave that at that.
That was good.
And then,
Yeah, tough table, though. Oh, 2 Marios at the same
Two
table.
Marios,
Love the
it's been-
Italian Mafia.
It's been tough keeping track, but let me tell you, our buddy Mario, the first Mario who came in, who chopped the big bounty, he's been getting dealt out so far. He hasn't gotten anything.
Should we put like Bounty Mario on him since he's the Bounty champion?
The bounty champion.
Yeah, but maybe Eye in the Sky. Maybe we put Bounty Mario in seat 1
Is it
since
too
he
late
is
with
the
the
Bounty
recording? Is that how
champion.
it works?
Yeah, it goes with it. I mean, or Champ Mario. He's earned that title. He has won the last big main event here. You're the champ till you leave.
Lucas is asking the Dave bust. I asked which one. He says Concrete. Before I could even say it, Concrete Dave makes an appearance in the chat and says yes, he busted.
I'll tell you what, it was unbelievable, though. I was dealing with Dave earlier, and 2 9s came on the flop, and he was in a hand
1
And-
second down before we get to that. We got some action here on
Oh,
this one.
hey-o.
I got an all-in from a short stack
Actually,
Joe.
I have to push. So
All right.
thanks, guys. But yeah, but bottom line is he got the cement mixer full house with the 4 on the turn.
All right, Dom, have fun out there. I'll get back to the chatter here. We had a little short stack go all in here with the 6-7 suited, 27,000. Bradley with the ace-10, never scared. ISOs for 200K.
I mean, what else can I do with like?
He wants this money to himself.
Even all them.
Concrete Dave in the chat. What's up, buddy? I dealt to you today. Sorry I couldn't get more going for you. Didn't hurt you, but it certainly didn't help you. Let's see a flop here on this one.
Yes. I don't wanna
And, oh, pair of sixes. Oh. But it is spades. Still 30% chance. The river. Ace-10. Bradley holds it up.
I did. Like a 6, 7, or any spade.
Joe had it going there for a minute. Lost that tough pot with the king-10. Well played by Pat. Joe gets a little lucky with the 6, but can't hold him off. Bradley taking down the pot. Joe out in 40th place. Good game, buddy.
I'm gonna call.
I would have made it.
Yeah.
All right, good guy.
He saved me and he screwed you.
As long as I'm doing screwing, all right?
I'm so happy it wasn't another queen. I could wait to that. Not fully.
Can't mourn for Joe for too long. On to the next hand. Onwards and upwards. The Millies shall grind on.
I'm okay with you calling anytime. I'll be the winner. Okay, all right? That's
Like I said, I looked at the first card.
That's how you ran that beforehand.
Okay. Catch up a little bit on the graphics. Mario 1 still can't find a hand. Mario 2 here finds the beautiful ace-king suited. I don't know what it is about ace-king, but the difference between suited and unsuited just feels like the world. I know it's mostly cosmetic. It does make it better. But ace-king offsuit, you're like, let's see a flop, see what happens. Ace-king suited, I'm ready to take the war. Let's get all my chips in there. Abe's got the chips to put on some pressure if he thinks he has something like ace-king. Not going to go anywhere yet for that 5K bet. And as we see the little bit of weakness that comes from those down bets there. You want to do it with big hands and with weak hands. And Abe thinks he has a weak hand there. Puts him on big cards, just like that ace-king. Fires on it, comes out firing on the turn and takes it down. Nice bet. Nice play by Abe. Evening, T-Bold. Good to see you, buddy. Got the $1 million guarantee tournament here at the Reserve in Toledo, Ohio.
525.
We still have all the way up till Saturday. It'll be a day 1 every day through Saturday. Sunday's our day 2. Monday's our final table. Will be streamed live here on the Reserve YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody in the chat. We're building up there. Almost 150 watchers. Got 42 likes. Again, that really helps us out. Anybody hasn't already, I'd really appreciate it. Get us in the algorithm, trying to reach more people. There we go. We were talking about Braden and his short stack strat. That's been working pretty good so far, but he says enough's enough, and he's all in.
You're behind. You're way behind.
And for 19,000, Josh calls. Got mostly a fair fight. Ooh. Flush draw. Oh, 10. Queen 10 takes the lead. And can't hold. Joshua, who was a short stack for a while, built it up. Had a little force, takes out a short stack. And out in 39th place there. Good job. Good job, Braden. I like the way you played that short stack. Didn't work out there in the end, but we made the best out of a bad situation.
Plus, yeah, I'm gonna get more chips.
Dropping like flies here at our feature table.
You can't get rid of him. He's a survivor. I'm a survivor. As long as I don't play no hands, it's been 1 hour. I've been surviving.
More, you have not played a hand. I'm surprised.
This is definitely a life record for me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this guy's not
What is
winning.
it? 3-6.
As merciless as it sounds, the tournament does not wait because somebody is out. The blinds have gone up. We're at 3 and 6,000, and the next hand is here.
I care about the money. I care about the I want a stack coming for the big
My
money.
buddy Mario,
3K is
noticeably frustrated, not playing these rags that he's dealt though.
That's my goal.
Got to let the table know how bad he's getting dealt here though.
Oh, you just went up 6. Yeah.
If anybody didn't believe him, we know he's telling the truth.
I want to come with more chips to play with. Yeah, and then that also comes with the double bag, which is nice.
I mean, even if you get like 50K.
Here we go to the flop. Got a couple suited aces here. Jack 10. Oh, everybody always loves the Jack 10 from Abe. The flop. Got a top pair, top kicker for Bradley. You know, for being the two most aggressive players at the table, Bradley and Abe, this is the first time I've really seen them really notice that they've been in a pot together. Probably mostly due to the cards, but I wonder if that's by design. They don't want to bump heads with each other. I wouldn't blame them.
Oh, I thought you said spread your legs.
Big bet there from Bradley.
Yeah.
2 times the pot. 39,000 of the pot. That's 60,000. Takes it down.
He's a nice guy, though. He's happy.
I mean, he knows Abe likes to play pots, so might have been designed to make sure he stays out of it with nothing.
And a shot of the main room, and we are down to 39 players remaining in this flight. Day 1E, 141 entries. And you go to our Facebook page, and you can see what the current chip counts are for the folks that have made it into day 2. Mario, who's been really quiet and frustrated, under the gun, picks up pocket sixes. The blinds at 3, 6, and 3. So he's
Mario, I'm not sure if he was trying to raise, but definitely going to call with that one. If he didn't say anything.
He can't like put out anything else to make the call with, so he has to.
So look,
Maybe that's what he meant.
I think
anyway.
he did. I think he did say something. Adam would have picked up on that,
Yeah.
a.k.a. the professor. And now they're all
Mario finally gets a hand,
betting into
and Pat gets pocket kings.
kings. Yeah, that's.
So now let's see where Mario's head is here, though. This is where the frustration can really set in. Finally gets a hand, gets a pair, and doesn't jump off the deep bridge just yet, but does call.
Bradley's going to call with his suited ace.
Let's see a flop here. 7-7 deuce. Brick for everybody. This dangerous flop for Mario. Dangerous flop for Mario. And look at this, the small bet. This is a beautiful spot for the small bet. And look at that. Small bet from Pat induces a quick raise from Mario. What are you thinking here, Vic? You just bet 15,000 and got snap called. He likes to just flat. Do you like that?
Well, now I don't. But
no, we don't.
yeah. Wow.
I mean, I loved it when he just called there, but wow, what a turn!
And an all-in and a snap call from Mario's patience has paid off. He's been sitting there, wringing his hands and shaking his head, not getting anything, and then just like that, with pocket sixes, gets into a big pot here, 328,500. And he has to dodge a 7 or a king. To reap big benefits from this one. Ooh, that's
Makes
scary.
the Kings make the flush, but it is no good.
Yeah.
Full house for Mario. You know, wow, that's wild the way that one goes.
I'm betting 1,000.
I gotta wonder, is it? You know, he might have just been trying to figure out where he was at against the pre-flop raiser, but the frustration might have shown itself a little bit. He snap raised him on the flop, said, "I finally got the pair. No way you got the sevens.
Yeah.
I don't want to lay it down there."
Yeah.
Pat, you know, probably made the long-term plus EV play of just calling and giving him a little more rope to hang himself with. But right there on the turn, Sugg just gives him the 6 from heaven that he needed. And while Pat might have been a little concerned by the spades, wasn't folding with the king of spades. And Mario takes it down. What a hand that was.
That's the Mario I know.
Bradley thought for a second, pained that he has to fold the 7-deuce offsuit. Here's Pat. Just got a big wound, but he's out there. He's got the button. He's got the shimmy, and he says raise. Mario would rather continue stacking his chips and lets him take it down. Yeah, Larry, that was a wild one, wasn't it?
And a good evening to T-Bold and to Larry and to everybody joining us tonight. 3 hours of some tournament action here at the Reserve in Toledo, Ohio. Going to be going till about 9:30. Giving you just some flavor of what we're seeing here. April 3rd through the 14th. 4-year celebration. Time and time again, Eli, we sit in here and we see the wave of, a big pot, big hand, big pairs, sets, draws, and then all of a sudden,
Yep.
a walk.
Well, I was just thinking that we had all this action, and it
Last time we fought with you.
would have been crazy for anybody to play those hands.
You put up a fence.
Not that we don't have some crazy players.
I can do whatever I want. The other
Yeah.
fence is a wood fence.
Yeah, we definitely got some aspects here. Bradley and Abe trying to get in there into lots of pots, working out well for both of them.
And they put some like letters and
Abe
stuff
coming in with a healthy 200,000 stack, over doubling it so far. And the 42 hands previous that we've seen so far.
the fence, not
Look at that, Mario up to 316,000 after that pot.
spray paint. Oh my goddamn, like, yeah. It only took $300 to settle the dispute, but they were
The way Pat went all in on that pot, Mario probably thought that 6 of spades was from heaven, got the flush and the full house in the same card,
Yeah.
and realized just how bad he needed it.
He's still talking about it.
Still talking about it. What I
Mistake, and now
I can't hear him, but I can almost read it. What do you want me to do? Mario 2 said that looked fun. He's got queens. 3 bets it to 26,000. Joshua has liked keeping the pots small so far. This is almost a min click back, though.
Yeah.
And he'll see a flop with the king 10.
Good flop for Mario there. But he's going to check it as if to let out some rope. But Joshua,
Ooh.
now the ace, a scare card there for Mario. Potentially after Joshua had made a min click or a small raise and then called the 3-bet.
Yeah, when I didn't have a good vision with him, but he always got hand. I'm like, how are you in the hand? How can you be?
Any story you tell, I'm not surprised.
Look at this. Min bet here on the river for Mario. 1/10 the pot. 61K in the pot. Bet 6,000.
Yeah, it feels like that sometimes.
Sometimes you feel like, at least beat me and take my money home. No, you take it
Joshua
from me.
doesn't
I
even
kinda
really
suck out, you
think
give
about
to
it too
everybody
much.
else. Just like that night when he sucked out.
Mario 2 is definitely, and it's interesting that they're sitting next to each
Yeah, I
other.
know, that's making it very confusing for us.
But no, the difference between the two of them, Mario 2 is a very stoic player.
Yes.
Very quiet. You will not see him either get excited or down, or he just kind of seems to keep the day. And then directly next to him, the 180 of Mario, very verbal,
Yes.
a lot of it, very expressive, very passionate.
That's one thing I love about poker. Yeah, like all personalities, all expression, from completely stoic to completely wearing their hearts on the sleeve. It all works. All have done well.
Yeah, so I was actually rooting for us. At least he does deal with it. And I heard he lost a straight flush.
He did. He had
Yeah,
enough flush against the
Somebody was just telling me that today.
He did. He did. That was bad. But still, I mean, you're not supposed to.
Well, Battle of the Blinds.
Andy and Abe, they had a little feud going earlier.
They did.
Died out for a while. Let's see what happens here. Andy does not seem interested, however.
Only chopping outs, and it comes. So they're going to chop that up. Play the board. Yes, Abe, you were in the lead for quite a bit of that hand.
You too, man. We both have full houses. Look at that. Nobody can beat us.
So we should be filling up now, right?
Interesting the way that works out there. Andy chops the pot and actually loses a little bit because he put in the entire ante himself.
Yes, right.
Mitigated here at the reserve, though. Loses a half a small blind instead of an entire small blind, like he would in most tournaments.
Day 2 is this Sunday.
Yeah, final table Monday.
Pat played the hand after losing that big one to Mario with a little bit of a suspect hand. Took it down, but here he is. Back with a legitimate hand and raising it up.
A little better than 2x. We are at 3, 6, and 3. Speaking of 3, there's a pocket pair of 3s for Abe.
Maybe I'll quit my job.
Abe does want to see a flop here. And he's got a cute little hand, but doesn't like being out of position. Lets it go. Bradley the defender, though.
Yes, and he has been the big blind defender at almost every opportunity. And we'll see what happens here post-flop. Be interesting to see if he gets a good piece of this. He might just be the post-flop aggressor in the big blind, as we've seen him do in the past. But in the meantime, a whiff for Bradley and Pat. The 3s are still in the lead.
Two people in the pot. They're both playing a lot of flops. They don't necessarily have to have that king or a jack. Pat with the C bet here. Small bet gets Abe out with the 3 and takes it down. Nice little bet there.
Yeah, advantage to the aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
And Sacco joining us. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for checking in with us. We're at 48 likes. I know we can get to maybe 75 or better before we close out tonight. Go until about 9:30. Bringing you poker action. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night. Getting started at 6:30 for 3 hours of tournament action. This is Flight 1E.
From Vision, Andy, smoke break.
He used to be on Vision, man.
Yeah, that's Andy.
Triumph says he was intended to play
Yeah.
today. Things came up. That's the great thing about having 10 day ones.
Yeah. Yeah, and the great thing about the final table being on a Monday, it's okay to call off. You know you've got some good money coming in. You've got as good a reason as any.
Yeah. We're at 35 players remaining in this flight, playing down to 14. And now we're going to see some players come in to balance this table. Heads up action, battle of the blinds. And oh boy.
This could get interesting. Pat with the legit hand. I would have thought that Bradley just, obviously he's not putting them on cards like that.
Yeah.
And might have got a little aggressive, but decides if he's got the big cards, he's got me beat. If he's got the low cards, he's got me beat. He just lets it go. We'll have the names here up shortly. Our table filling up. Down to 35 players. Down to 4 tables total in the tournament. 3 of the outer tables. 1 in here. Feature table that we have going.
You were at the table where I busted, right?
Triple up in the next 42 minutes. Or you're going to double up 3 times.
Yeah, I tried.
It's been nice with those extra tables out there, Vic. We've been well staffed for this tournament. Had
Yes.
people in. We were 9-handed throughout. Never had to go to 10-handed yet, and it's been a nice, smooth tournament. Nobody's felt pressured. Hasn't been long waiting lists like there are in some other places.
Or long lists, long lines like we've had in big tournaments in the past.
Like
so
we've had, yes,
yeah.
correct. Not that we're above it sometimes.
No, exactly.
Well, we've made the extra room. We've had the room for the satellites and everybody to get it in. And here's Abe opening it up with his king-queen that he's had a few times today.
Making it 13-5. This is definitely in Andy's wheelhouse, the Jack-10. So he's going to make the call. Bradley, pocket 4s. He wants to see a flop. Pat says no thanks. And Joshua, definitely not in Joshua's wheelhouse there, the Jack-3. So 3 players going to the flop.
The 3 most action players so far with 3 good hands. And top pair versus a set.
This might get ugly.
Bradley's been playing a lot of hands. That makes it tougher to fold, too. A lot of straight draws out there. If he had ace-10, I would wager a lot that it would get it all in. Jack-10 is not so guaranteed. Bradley acutely aware of his MO and his table image. Raises
Andy,
immediately.
Almost half his stack to make this call. And you're right
Nice
with that
laydown.
table image. Yeah, nice laydown because Bradley has been pretty aggressive, but Andy's immediate response is, nope, I'm getting out of the way.
I wonder if he picked up on the fact that a lot of Bradley's aggression was first in the pot. Nobody checking to him and betting. A lot of first raises. He wasn't really going over the top of other people's and making 3 bets as much. I wonder if that's what he thought about, or he just thought, it was a terrible stack sizes where he was at in comparison to Bradley. And like I said, that jack kicker might have saved him some chips there. If it was an ace, it might have been a big problem.
He knew quad ace was going to.
So Rezi now coming into seat 3. We have seen him quite a bit on running deep in our big tournaments. Typically is a bigger tournament player.
Definitely coming to the table with some ammo already.
Yeah.
Connor, the other new guy, coming in with 141,000. Definitely nothing to sneeze at.
Mario under the gun, ace queen, his remaining 160. He's going to push all in here. This is interesting, Eli. I'm not sure.
160. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's too much.
You're getting called with aces or kings typically, unless it's a small stack and you got 2s, but the 2s fold.
Yeah, I mean, you think of ace queen. You just bet 30 big blinds.
Yeah.
If somebody's got ace jack, even suited,
Yeah.
you got to believe they're folding. So
Right.
a little bit questionable there. People get in that situation sometimes, and they got ace queen. They know it's good. They don't want to miss the flop, and so they just kind of get overzealous and jam it in there.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a bit too much, but gets away with it and takes it down.
And Mario, he will be the first to admit or agree that he's a less conventional player than most. It's his style, it's his comfort level, and really, when you play this game, you want to make sure you're coming up with a game plan and you stick to it. And when your game plan is confusing people all the time, that can pay off.
I certainly agree with that. And I can see some strats if that was certainly 15 big blinds, maybe even as much as 20 big blinds. But he had a full 30 big blinds there. It's tough to really see a clear strat there. Maybe a little bit of frustration from the pots before.
3 players.
But I'm just a lowly poker dealer. I mean, he certainly knows more than I do, too. Yeah, Rezi. I know Rezi. Took me a minute to realize who that is. I've seen him around at a lot of tournaments before. He is a tournament grinder.
He is. Wendy joining us. Yep, hope you can get in here soon. We have 3 more, besides tonight, we have 3 more satellites, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 p.m. Check. Mario gets the check mark by virtue of his 10. Should be able to bet out here. But he checks it. And Bradley's not going to take a move at it. So Mario, 2 pots in a row. One with an all-in. And
Yeah, nice little pot taken down there for Bradley. I can definitely see that train of thought a little bit more, checking there on the river. Bradley might have called if he had like a small pocket pair, but he's seen him betting a lot. Tried to give him a little bit of rope. Didn't work out there. Betting wouldn't have worked either, so we'll take it down.
I'm trying to get it in bad, all right?
Steve out there, I appreciate the compliment. It's a great tournament. You guys are great. But with the very next comment, I got a question to sanity a little bit. Concrete Dave is the best player there. I appreciate the shot. We love Concrete Dave here.
yes, we do.
Raise 13,000.
I did talk to Dom a little bit a few minutes ago, and I'm going to share a Concrete Dave quick story for you.
All right.
Unless he told that while he was in here.
He did not.
All right. Okay.
Oh, wait, he did.
Okay. All right.
Actually, he did.
I think he probably did.
Yes, he
All right,
did.
Never mind.
Full house
Yeah,
Yes,
with the cement mixer.
with the cement mixer.
Rezi's going to protect here after Connor raises with King 10 of hearts.
3 players.
These small bets become even more attractive to the big blind when there's
boy.
multiple people in the pot.
Bradley smashes this one.
Smashing.
Unfortunately for Bradley, there isn't much else. Connor with a continuation bet.
He flopped a set earlier and put the pedal to the metal.
Call.
This is a different situation and
It
just
is.
calls. I like it.
Yeah. Talk about mixing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Playing in the situation, in the moment. A gut shot here for Rezi.
I was just thinking too. Rezi could have done a lot of things right there. That board's unlikely to hit the other guys. Oh, just in
No.
case.
Yeah. But this could help Bradley get paid off as Connor hits his 10. Check around, and Bradley just hoping one of these 2 players was lingering around with an ace.
Check. Check.
90,000 in the pot, and he makes it 60. Making this look like an overbet. Eli, I think he's going to get paid off,
Yeah.
and he does. That had everything, I think, to do with bet sizing right
Yeah, I
there.
agree 100%. I can see the cards, and I would have called if I was Connor.
Yeah.
That was an excellent play there.
The table image that Bradley has there on top of making this look like he's trying to steal it, and he gets paid for it. Very, very good play there from Bradley.
Josh and Abe got a fan club out there. Wendy knows him from Visions in Westland. Good to see him out there.
Superfood says he's going to be here on Thursday for the satellite.
We'll see you then, Smoothie Dave. Here we go. We're already at hand 51. 34 left out of 141. Day 1E. Andy been getting a lot of his hands under the gun early on. Here we are again. Under the gun. King Queen raises it up. Then clicks it to 12K. Bradley certainly not missing an opportunity with the pocket fours. See, Mario, where's the frustration on the outside?
Yeah.
We can debate about the sixes hand, but that was certainly a spot that it was tough to hit for the Kings. He got lucky, but keeping it under control. Wanting to step out there, chooses not to.
Heads up action. And the four is still in the lead and in position. Continuation bet from the pre-flop aggressor. 10,000 and a snap call from Bradley.
Almost got his chips in there first. Ooh.
And now Andy leaps into the lead. He's going to push all in.
I mean, it didn't work out, but I suppose that's perfect play from Bradley. Call when you got the best hand and fold when you got the worst.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I play perfectly fine from Andy there too. If he had any, if he flopped a jack, he certainly is calling him still.
Yeah.
You were just building up that, fold equity.
Blinds are really starting to put some pressure on, though. Even the people that are right around 100,000, less than 20 big blinds. Mario back to his hole, 4 deuce offsuit. But Mario, Resi.
12,000 is the range.
2 aces. I got to give the shout out to my favorite poker commentator, Mike Sexton. The weapons of mass destruction. What will Resi do here? It's hard enough to beat these good tournament players, Vic. When they got aces, it just doesn't seem fair.
And I would definitely put Resi in that category.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
He's a very good tournament player indeed.
What I am saying, 3 bets at the 32. Great sizing.
Great sizing. However, it does make the decision easy for Andy, I think. Yep. Not going to protect his big blind.
I guess not. Mario just lets it go right there. Feels the red alert. Nice fold from him, honestly. Only 20,000 more was getting good odds, but there was certainly a big negative implied odds pot where if he flops a queen or a 10, could be out of the tournament.
So we have intel here on this that this is our last hand at 3, 6, and 3. The players are going to take a break, but that's the beauty of our recording. We have edited that out. There's just going to be a very smooth transition. And do not go anywhere because we're not going anywhere. There's nowhere to go. As soon as this hand is over, we're going to transition right into the next blind level.
The wonder of your old YouTube, the players will take a break and we won't.
Oh, the 500. Oh, I'm sorry.
Here's Resi back at it.
Raise 14,000 now. breaker, so we can't have to break. They haven't told me yet. He's asking if they're in here still after break.
I love you, Joshua, but you're clogging the camera, buddy. There we go. Yep, expected Abe to call there with the Queen Jack. Got two very capable players here with similar hands. Let's see what happens here.
Abe's going to get the best of this.
Abe moves from a favorite to put a stranglehold in the hand.
Continuation bet here from Resi.
That's 12,000.
40,000 in the pot. Bets 12.
Oh,
And there's the call. Heads up, going to the turn. A blank.
Check mark already for Abe. Probably doesn't know how good a shape he's actually in. Does certainly like his hand.
check.
What will he do here? There's a lot of draws on the flop. I would say this is a decent spot to check behind.
26,000.
You could get him to fire another barrel on the river, or maybe even make a hero call with a pair on the river, but shows the jack and takes it down perfectly fine. Players will take a break.
Correct. You guys come back and fight.
And you can see 141 entries today. We are down to 33. So top 14 players that we play down to, they're going to get a voucher to get into the day 2. Go to the Facebook page and check out an update on all of the players that have so far made it into the day 2 and their chip count, as well as at the bottom of the list you will see who has double bag bonus of 3,000. You bag here top 10% of any of these flights, and you go to the cage and quickly collect $1,000. But you multi-bag each time another $3,000. And Dominic,
Yeah, I see that. We got a new name.
Victory French Cigar. I don't even, I don't know. I bet that there is no such thing. You could probably create a whole new item to sell
Yeah.
online, the Victory French Cigar, and I don't know.
The French are, they seem like cigarette smokers more than cigar smokers.
Very
though.
much so.
Yes.
I was just going to tell a story about playing over in Paris a number of years ago, but we'll get to that in a minute. And Andy, now sensing something here, he's going to push all in with the ace-9 of hearts, definitely mixing it up for Andy, and he takes down a profit of 34,000.
Nice play there, really. Resi didn't even think about it. Shows the ace, folds it very quickly.
You know, and you've experienced this, I'm sure, from all of your travels around and playing and working in this industry. You hear all the time, "Oh, I can't win there.
Yeah.
Oh, those players are terrible. Oh, those players are crazy," and it's universal.
It is universal.
I'll tell you how universal it is. I got to play at the Aviation Club in Paris. 2006, I was over there on a business trip, and it's on this, my French is bad, but it's on the Champs-Élysées, right down from the Arch. It has since been closed, but at the time it was the oldest poker room in the world, and it was very interesting to go in there and play. I spoke no French at all, and I think it actually helped my game because I couldn't tell what people were saying, and it was like wearing a headset or something. Get to that, get to the finish of this story in a minute. 7-4 of spades. Abe mixing it up because he can. 443,000 in front of him.
Pat in the big blind has a defendable hand here.
Yes, he does.
Abe with a little size up, though, 2.5 bigs. That's enough to take it down.
So I would sit there, and to your point, the French love to smoke. And if you were sitting in the 1 seat or the 10 seat, there was a little thing that said no fumée, which means you couldn't smoke in the 1 or the 10 seat.
Right.
But all the other seats, you could smoke. And, of course, they had that coffee that was just unbelievable thick. You could put a stand a spoon up in it.
Oh man.
And that most of them would sit there with their small cup of coffee and a cigarette in their hand. And it didn't take long for many of them to figure out that I was from America and that I didn't speak French. But occasionally I'd have somebody nearby or next to me, typically a younger person that could speak English as well. And
16,000 raised.
sitting playing, I think it was a 2-5 game or something. And we had a player sit down that was just elbows out aggressive. And you could see some of the older gentlemen at the table were not happy with that. That was not what they considered to be.
Again, another universal thing. The older players grumpy with the young guns splashing
So
around.
the young guy that could speak English says to me, he says, so do they have players like that in the U.S.? And I said, do we?
Yeah.
They're called cowboys. And one of the older gentlemen that didn't speak English, in French, he asks him, what did he say? What did he say? And he said, cowboy. And the guy looked and finally figured it out. They translated it. It was, oh, yeah, cowboy, yeah. So you had to go all the way to Paris, France to realize that
That's funny.
that the play is universal.
The play is universal.
Yeah. You got people that knit. You got people that are aggressive. You got crazy players. Everybody gets bad beat stories, no matter where you play in the world.
My question is, at the Aviation Club in France, did you go tapis?
Tapis.
That's all in. I remember that from the old World Poker Tours. They played at the Aviation Club there.
No, yeah.
The real old ones, the original
Right.
ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they would say. You would hear them every once in a while. Mike Sexton. They go tapis.
Tapis, yeah.
Oh, better get to this hand. We got
Yeah.
a big pot alert.
Big pot alert. Back over to Resi now.
120. Resi and Pat. I gotta believe it's going boom. And probably pre-flop.
This would not be the first time we've seen Ace-King folded on this live stream in a tournament play.
Today alone,
But
there was one already today.
Yeah.
That's happened to me a couple times at the cash games. You're sure that they're going to go bump, and then somebody makes a really big fold, whether it's good or not. Oh, there he goes.
And he is going to 4-bet this, I think. Yeah. Now Pat.
There's a world. Pat folds. There's a world.
Yes. You're right, Dom. Call your friends, call your neighbors, call your cousins.
There it goes.
Big hand alert, and it goes in, and 335 in the pot. This is Pat's day 1E flight, life at stake, and he needs to dodge initially an ace and a king.
163,000. I need 163.
Those are fours.
While he gets these ready, give some quick love to these traveling dealers, even working these live stream, most of them for the first time.
Yes,
Doing
absolutely.
great in there.
They're doing really well.
Getting this pot together, we got a big one. Make sure everything's straight before we fire to the flop. That's the cards right.
And the pot is right.
Let's see it. Right in the
Wow.
window.
Now just 2 outs for Pat.
Nope, Resi holds. Ace King taking it down. 334,000 chip pot. Puts him and Abe neck and neck for the chip lead at the table. What a hand. What's up, Rye Dog? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming out to the stream today. Coming in loud and clear from Jackson, Michigan. Vandercook Lake.
So we're playing down to 14 in this particular flight, which is top 10%, going to day 2. Day 2 on Sunday, this Sunday the 13th. All of the top 10% bags are coming to Sunday. And this is after today. For us in real time, it's Tuesday. But we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, day 1's remaining. We also have 4 more satellites after tonight. Wednesday, Thursday, 3 more. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. $65 buy-in into a tournament, into the satellite. The morning satellites are all done. We had our last morning satellite this morning.
I got one question. It might be a correction. I think there's 2 flights on Saturday, right?
Oh,
the last
yes.
one's a turbo.
Yeah.
That's right. Because I was just
Thank
thinking
you.
I'm still coming in at 6:30.
Follow the rule, you know. He was telling you, don't fuck with
Yeah, Jeff, no kidding. That's how you play Ace King. Get it all in and get there. I'm taking notes.
Yeah, you have to go outside the door. Think he's blind. Think he's blind, bro.
We got me and Diamond Dom's nephew Dwayne's favorite dealer in the box here, Eddie.
Hey, he almost believed you, though. Look at it. I knew I had
Who is Eddie's? Who
Dwayne, who come,
Oh.
come before, been in the booth with Dom before. Our nephew Dwayne.
Yeah. So Eddie is Dwayne's favorite dealer,
Yep,
or
they're buddies.
Dwayne is Eddie's favorite dealer?
Eddie is Dwayne's favorite dealer.
There's 2 peas in the pod for you right there.
Yep.
Hey, we got pocket 10s and Bradley now with pocket jacks.
See, Dom's in the chat. He liked that one. He agrees. Both. Yeah, they're each other's favorite dealers. But here, oh man,
That's a black one over there?
Yes.
here comes a big pot, one way or another. 10s, jacks, and ace king. Mario won with the ace king.
Oh, thank you.
Again, like you said, 2 differences of 2 Marios.
Yeah.
The actions on him still kind of wearing his heart on his sleeve. He's got a big hand, but he don't like it.
Well, sure. Yeah, he doesn't like the raise under the gun, followed by a 3-bet, followed by a call. I'm sorry, followed by a 3-bet. Now he's just in the position to decide whether to flat or make a 4-bet.
All in. We got all in.
There he goes. I think he said all in. Yes.
He did say all in.
There we go, Mario. 275,000. This is a tough spot for Bradley. I feel like Abe's
Decision a little bit easier.
Yeah, he's been aggressive, and he don't like it, but I think he sees the writing on the wall on this one. But Bradley, Bradley been aggressive. Mario, is he gonna believe that Mario was frustrated and not, he obviously wouldn't be that frustrated with aces or kings. Maybe he would with queens that still have you stomped. Yeah, look at Bradley. What
All
just
in.
happened?
Not quite all in here for Bradley to call, but we'll just leave him with 4 big blinds if his jacks don't hold up. And he's checking out kind of where things are, how much time is
There he
left,
goes.
and he
Yeah,
shows
folds
the
it.
jacks going into the muck. And I know that's usually,
Mario showing.
and he's going to show.
Nice play by Mario. Picks up the aggression when he needed to.
31 players, which means we're down to 4 tables. So it's this table in the feature, and it's those 3 out in the main room playing nine-handed as we get to 27, then we will see the tables balance. But for Eli and I, we're here another 45 minutes to bring you this poker action, and then the reserve will be back again tomorrow night with some more tournament action from another flight.
We're seeing on them outdoor tables, Flying Brian dealing the middle table. It'll be Vic and Flying Brian in the booth tomorrow.
I'm in the booth tomorrow?
Yeah, you're in every day.
Oh.
Dom's just giving Dom's giving me and Brian a little taste today and tomorrow.
All right.
Today me, tomorrow Brian. And then it'll be you and Dom riding it out into the sunset. The voices of the reserve poker here in Toledo, Ohio.
I hope my wife isn't watching. I think I told her I had tomorrow night off.
Oh, check with Dom. He might. I heard this from Dom. You understand how that could be confused sometimes,
know.
lost in translation.
I know. I love being in here, though. It doesn't matter.
It's addicting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's when you have a passion for poker like we do, we wouldn't be here if we didn't. Heads up action now. Andy raised to 17,000, and Abe coming along to protect the big blind.
There's a little old-fashioned flop we haven't seen in a minute. Top pair versus middle pair. Single raised pot.
However, we have seen these two going at it a number of times on this feature table.
Yeah, especially early on. They left some blood in the street with each other early on. Let's see what happens here. Abe not ready to let it go for one bet. Oh. Well, there's an interesting card. Open-ender for both. Oh,
gives
snap all in.
Gives Abe more outs. But still Andy in a commanding lead here. Jay Reed, I agree. We need to get Mr. Black back in here. I'll go talk to him about that.
Yeah, Abe does not like this, and on top of it, some of its outs are gone. His nine's no good. Tough spot. There's a world he's stone dead against ace-king.
He's trying to get a read off of Andy, and I don't think he's getting much there.
Certainly not getting much, and it's just too much.
Yeah.
A little bit over the pot bet. The odds aren't there. He didn't like it. Couldn't pick anything up. Makes a good lead up.
Mr. Coffee joining us. John Coffee, Mr. Coffee, Neil. Or as his wife calls him, hey you.
Tough spot there for Abe, but the tournament goes on, and Connor's all in.
Yep, 5 big blinds. He had to pick a spot sooner or later. He was under the gun. He decides this is where he's going to try to make a stand. So far, a lot of queens going in the muck, and Abe, at the very least, you got to believe he's going to call. He may be raising to isolate.
And is.
And he does. And so he does do a good job there getting it isolated in a commanding lead with the Nemesis suited. And Eddie gets the pot right and going to give us a beautiful view. So Connor hoping for some magic here.
I'll get 6.
I know times are tight, but
After the break.
let's see what happens. Oh,
No.
Maddie.
Oh,
that's enough.
that's enough.
You didn't have enough in the tank.
Wow. Squeaks in there with a 6 on the river.
Maddie. What are we doing, bro? Hey, you sure you shuffled the deck? Queen 6, bro? Come on.
There's Connor. Never been prouder taking in that pot.
Maddie. Bro, you hit all the floor.
It's like my grandma always said, don't take a big hand to win the pot, just the best hand. A pair of sixes is
Absolutely.
plenty.
Man, hey, cut that shit again, bro. Big one. I do think he said
Bradley lays down the jacks earlier. Seemingly gets awarded
didn't work. It didn't work.
2 queens. Raise it up. 4 and 8,000 here makes it 20 to go. Mario Brothers want nothing to do with it. Bunch of rags, but Connor just freshly doubled up.
That's the only thing bad about this one. There's
Is it worth it, Eli? Is it worth it?
Again, I see the cards, so I want to say no. But if I was in that spot and it's Bradley, how aggressive he's been in,
Yeah.
I'm at 80,000 chips. I feel like I would be all in.
Well,
I
he's
don't-
going to flat.
I don't hate calling either. You can see a flop and decide what you want to do. See, that's certainly in Bradley's range. You could fold that. But with 80,000, you don't want to be just set mining either.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I really there, but I feel like I would have. Yeah, I would think I would have been all in against Bradley. Worked out better for him than it would have for me.
Still got me on that one.
Boy, that sure is a tall drink of water right there.
Yeah, that's young Patrick there. I was just going to give the analogy of the Final Four that just, or the March Madness that finished up for the men's and the ladies. And usually you're in a better position when you've got a deep bench. And here at the reserve, we have got a deep bench. You know, we've got our Nick Clark is pretty much our floor manager.
A fearless
but
leader.
the number of other people, Patrick, Dominic, number of other folks that can step in to help with that role. Then bringing in these traveling dealers, my goodness, has just given us such a deep bench on the dealer list. This has been quite. I've been here since before day one 4 years ago, and what a transition I have seen, and always. Just for me, a team and the team concept here has been very strong, and I hope that when we got the traveling dealers come in, they feel that immediately. Like, hey, we're here together to try to provide a product to folks that they can enjoy and tell their friends about and come back repeatedly. And that's what I have seen right from the get-go.
You know, you've got it from 4 years. I've got a little fresh perspective from here, and I just want to talk it up too. You know, I come here fresh from Vegas. I'm burnt out on poker. You know, I've had good bosses and bad bosses out there, but I was a little deflated about poker. Dominic kind of talked me into dealing the first big. It was the 120 buy-in. That was the 100K.
Yeah.
And instantly loved everybody here. Was just planning on staying on the traveling dealer list here, and just dealing the tournaments. I picked up a couple days. I work right steady Friday and Saturday now, and then more during these times. All the traveling dealers I've talked to, this is like a spot they circle now. Everybody's got other spots that they like and don't like. There's like almost a fight for this spot now.
That's great to hear.
And let me tell you, it's everybody's liked it. It's going to give us. Choice to be picky amongst the traveling dealers as well. And honestly, it's gone above expectations for me. I thought it was going to be good, and it's been great.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for that insight.
It really has been.
Appreciate that. Connor's going to push in with ace-8 of spades, his remaining 64,000. Resi had raised it to 18 with ace-jack. Joshua getting to that point where he's going to have to take a stand here with his remaining 32,000. Actually 44,000, but in the meantime, quick call there from Resi, and he's a 2-1 favorite, basically. Almost, right?
Almost, yeah. Just a shade under.
Just a shade under. And Mr. Coffee and Dwayne's favorite dealer, Fast Eddie, giving us this look and this flop.
Oh, 8 right in the window.
Oh, and then a jack.
I was looking for the diamonds.
Oh,
there was no
boy.
diamonds anywhere. Resi just gives a glimmer of hope to Connor just to give the dagger on the turn. Good tournament there from Connor, though. Made the most of what he had at the end. Couldn't make it work.
We'll just call it 20. Just give me 20.
And there it is. 28th place brings us down to 27. Should be combining.
Yeah, we'll
3
see a couple
tables.
players come in here and make it 9-handed again.
The 3 tables and they eliminate the middle table. I'm hoping they don't want that one.
You got a sweat on it?
No, just I didn't bet it because I liked Houston, but a friend of mine.
One last thing to add on to about that reserve. You ever notice this too? We got workers that travel to come here too, just on the regular shift. Brian, Nick himself, me,
Yeah.
all drive 45 minutes to an hour,
Yeah.
an hour and 15 from Ann Arbor to come here for this job. It's really telling.
You guys would beat me on the river. What was if you had ace king, you would have lost.
Yeah, Jeff, that's a lot of them.
You had to have
Yeah, and honestly, you know, the firekeepers is kind of a prized spot too. For the most part, people like that. That's a place they get enough applicants that they can turn some people around away. But this is honestly really the spot. People got their kind of regions that they go to. There's Midwest people. There's West Coast people. There's some of them who travel all over. Special shout out to somebody who was here last time, Bao. She really travels all over from Vegas to Oklahoma, but she's a Michigander. So this is more local and loves this spot. Let's see a flop here. Haven't had one of those with some action here in a minute. Bradley out flopping Resi.
Resi was the pre-flop aggressor. Got a call here from Bradley. Bradley continues to be a bit of a mystery man. I mean, it's not a mystery to us because we get to see the cards, but I think he puts on a tremendous table image of, you know, like trying to nail glue to a tree. You know, it's just, or Jello to a tree. He at any given point, I don't think I could put him on a hand if I was at the table with him.
I 100% agree with that. Can't put him on a hand, and a lot of times those players have an inability to lay the big hand down.
Yeah.
And him laying those jacks down was honestly impressive to me. I know Mario had the ace-king, but I've got him down to a range of ace-king is the only hand that you're 50-50 with, and aces, kings, and queens you're dominated to, and he's not even doing that with tens. So I thought that was a great fold with the jacks. A lot of players who are splashy like him and aggressive can't make those big laydowns.
Oh, and he checks. That was an interesting check.
Yeah, I want to see what happens here now.
Yeah, because Resi's more than likely going to come out with a bet after hitting this 9 on the turn. 96,000 in the pot. He's got Resi 2-1 in chips here.
Yeah, Resi's certainly value betting. Well played. See,
Yeah.
we were just talking him up, and she proved us right. Thank you, Bradley. Making us look good.
And Garrett coming in, moving from the main room over to the feature table. And Garrett, of course, a local favorite player, I should say. He's one of the nicest guys that comes into this room. He plays cash and tournament. A very experienced player. Garrett and I go back probably 25 years, and we were both kind of new to this game. Hold'em, that is, maybe 25 years ago, and I have seen an evolution in Garrett. He has really put a lot of focus into this game and trying to be that player that can shift quickly from both cash to tournament and back and forth. And that's not an easy thing to do. Speaking of just a tournament player, for the most part, Charlie, who has won some big tournaments here. He has run deep in some big tournaments, but pretty much exclusively a tournament player.
Yeah.
Kind of a difference in perspective between those two players sitting down.
I agree with you 100% on both that aspect. It's kind of underrated how much the cash and tournament players don't really mingle as much. But Charlie, yeah, he went deep in the mega bounty.
Yes, took 4th place. And he's not going to waste any time here. He is down to 48,000 in chips. As soon as he sits down, he's got 9-8 in the cutoff. He's going to push all in.
Yeah, him and Mario at the final table of the mega bounty.
Actually, the correct number is 32,000. And Abe, again, he does this. He likes to isolate. He sees a small stack, go all in. He likes his chances almost regardless of what the cards are, right?
Yeah, we see that now. Charles is going to love to see this. He's hoping he just has 2 live cards. He's going to find out he's the favorite. But look at this. Look what, with the dead money in there, Abe's 42%.
Yeah.
He was getting the correct money odds once he got the other guy out with the dead money. So excellent play, really.
Yeah.
Excellent play.
I don't know who had wild side.
Oh, really?
8-9 still in the lead.
Flush draw. Burke.
And Charlie, with about as big of a grin as you're going to get on Charlie's face. He likes the results.
I did say it too afterwards, so.
Yeah, I usually don't say that. I just came back to the table.
Yeah, Jeff, no kidding. Hard to get chips from Garrett deep in a tourney.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even
Hard to get chips from Garrett at any point, but I agree with you. Deep in a tourney, just seems almost impossible.
All right, blinds are 5 and 7.
14 moving on here. 26 left here in this day 1E. It's going to be interesting. Everybody really needing to jockey themselves for position. Again, average stack going into day 2 is going to be almost exactly 600,000. A couple of the double bags is going to make that a little bit less. Blinds are up to 5 and 10,000.
Yeah, and now average chip stack right at where Abe is, 340,000. So you can see a number of these players, if they're focused on that. And again, this 5-10-5, Dominic likes to say, is typically where the nerves kick in if you are below that average chip stack. And you're really wanting to pick your spots very carefully because you could be felted at any minute. Now Garrett raises it up with jacks and Bradley's coming along.
I agree with all those statements, but that's another reason I like Bradley. The nerves aren't getting into him.
Not
Garrett
at
makes
all.
it 30,000, and he snap called with that ace-9 suited.
Yeah.
A lot of players would have snap folded.
Garrett, after that, pushes all in. For the amount of times I've seen Garrett do that play.
I'd like to say, Garrett's been watching Bradley as much as we have, but he just got new to the table. I'm not sure how familiar he is with these, but...
Well, and look at Bradley's. He's kind of furrowed brow there trying to figure out who is this guy.
Yep.
Maybe he's not that familiar or they're not familiar with each other.
Well, he knew he wasn't folding the jack, so he might as well get him to put in some bluff chips if he can. If he's behind, he's getting in either way. There it is, 2 outer tables left.
And, I love saying this. I'm looking at those 2 tables. I do see some familiar faces, but I see a number of brand new faces. And that's what we love about these big tournaments, drawing people in from all over the place. Making new friends, new poker friends.
For some reason, I thought you were the guy that was just sitting here with like 50,000 in chips, so I thought that was all in. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, Mario 2 Jams it in there. He's got the ace-king. 156. Probably going to be a touch too much for Resi. Maybe not, though. If he was in the big blind, I'd consider it more. Oh, Garrett called, too. I missed that. Resi knows. He just wanted to hold a little funeral for the king-queen for a moment. Garrett, having not raised, just got 10,000 in the pot, says, all right, you can have this one.
Now, I don't know if this is Mario 2's two-seat frustration. We typically see from Mario more post-flop play. We've seen him now with two big hands and immediately push it in, shut it down, take down what's ever in there. He does like the strategy of the game. He likes to mix it up. He likes to be in hand. So I don't know. It's a little different for seeing Mario do that now a couple times.
Yeah, the first one was definitely interesting. It was for a boatload. There was for 15 bigs. There was a limper in there. I feel like the limp from Garrett really confused him, and he just wanted to jam it. But
well, I would be suspicious of that too.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean,
anytime Garrett limps in,
honestly,
my radar goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see he has threes, and I was still worried about him. There we go. Joshua in the red zone pushes with a suited ace. Oh.
And this time, an all-in from Abe and an all-in from Andy.
Wow.
Call your friends, call your neighbors, call your cousins, folks.
Abe has tried this, kept putting his hand over the candle, finally got burned here on this one.
Yeah.
And Andy's been watching, did not even think with the 10 snap calls.
Yeah.
And he is in excellent shape. Excellent shape to get back in this one. He was dwindling down.
Yeah. This could be...
And you want a black board. 130?
I was going to say there's a side pot. It really doesn't matter, but this could be a $347,000 pot for Andy if his 10s hold up. He is in the lead against Jack 9 of Hearts for Abe. Abe
stepping in a little bit
Abe
here.
going to be giving up half of his stack if he can't hit something here with his Jack 9 of Hearts.
Joshua's got some fight in him, and all he needs is an ace. Be up to close to 100,000 with some dead money in there. A jack sends everybody home. Ace. Ace.
Okay, so Joshua takes 89,000, but Andy with the main pot with the 10s now up to 258,000.
2 all-ins in that pot and no eliminations. Could have went better for Andy. Could have went worse, so he'll take it. Joshua thrilled to be in it. Abe. Mario says something to him. Abe gives him a little shrug. Hey,
Yeah.
What do you want me to do there? That's my MO. I isolate there. That's the play he does. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Bunch of rags. All the Marios out. Oh. Andy and Abe just can't get away from each other.
No,
though.
they cannot. My goodness. How many hands have they seen post-flop? So raise to 30,000 with the blinds 5, 10, and 5. If Andy Smooth calls here, I believe Garrett's probably going to protect. Let's see what if that affects his decision. Big smile there from Garrett as he protects he makes the decision to protect. Queen Jack versus Ace Queen, commanding lead for Abe. Troublesome flop there for Garrett.
Abe's going to get away with this, but honestly, I feel like it was frustration. He made it a full 3x raise pre-flop. Biggest raise we've had in a minute. And now look at this. He doesn't think Garrett hardly has anything. If he knew, he'd be betting bigger.
Oh, and they go to the chop. Oh, my goodness. Garrett dodges a bullet here.
Garrett has no idea how lucky he was. I mean, he's about to find out, but. Wow.
He got. No, this is a chop. I was going to say. I didn't see a chip go in, but he must have declared a call there, so they are chopping it up. He flipped them over in frustration.
Yeah.
Because he knew how far ahead he was.
Yep. I saw that flop, and I thought Garrett was out, to be completely honest.
Yeah. Well, that's how things go here at the reserve for our featured table. Plenty of poker action. We still have some more action coming your way tonight. And join us again tomorrow night. We are at 62 likes and a number of new viewers out there. We politely and ask you please to hit that like button because it helps us so much. See if you can get us to 75. The estimate was around 9:30, but we are going to a certain hand. So at 9:30 or a little bit after, don't go anywhere. We're going to continue to do this. Go to thereservepoker.com. Check out all the information about our tournaments. Marissa reminded me that even though the day 3 is on Monday, we still have a Monday tournament. So if you go to thereservepoker.com, you can see all of that schedule. However, Tuesday the 15th, big day of rest for us. We will be closed on the 15th. Oh, and Joshua, big smile on his face. Didn't have to sweat that out.
You see, look at that big smile for taking down the blinds and Annies. Love to see it. There's Flying Brian taking the box over. Going to be here in the booth tomorrow with you. Calling this Millie tournament action. Joshua, it's the same hand. A7 suited. And he does the same thing, jams it. Not that surprised that he folded necessarily the 5s from Bradley, but I am kind of surprised it was that quick. Looked at him and insta-mucked it.
JD, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Pretty sure you were happier with that hand than you are to be.
Well,
Yeah.
happy with
Yeah, Garrett got lucky on that hand, but so be it sometimes. We've definitely seen uglier today. Yeah, just a humble shout out to all the viewers out there. 176 of you enjoying this $1 million guarantee action. Anybody, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. That way you know when we go live for these couple days of the Millie. We'll be back with cash game action on the stream here next week. Yeah. Mario showing frustration on his face. Still just open folding Queen Jack offsuit. So not bringing it to the table.
No.
He's done well with that.
And there's a walk.
Oh, he loves seeing that.
Yeah.
Even with the best hand, he loves seeing that.
74 likes. Who's going to be number 75? That's a nice round number in some worlds. Blind still at 5, 10, and 5. Now, what I'd like to see here from Andy is about a 2.5x with that 10-9 of hearts to try to control the pot a little bit. And
Get out of his head, Vic.
My goodness, he heard me.
He heard you. However, one of the worst hands for him. Immediately calls afterwards.
Yes.
Queen Jack of hearts.
And here comes a flop, heads up action. The flop is from Brian.
Oh, here's a flop.
This is an action flop. Top pair, queen kicker, and then an open ender for Andy.
Even one heart on the flop, and I would say I was pretty sure it would get in. Here, there's a world it doesn't.
Continuation bet. Step back a bit to 20,000. And a raise. Andy pushes all in, and Bradley
Andy
snap
did
calls
push all
here.
in.
So Andy needs some help. 4 outs. The computer knows that 3 outs are in the muck, so it could be 7, but it's only 4. He needs a queen or a 7. The spades don't matter. Neither one of them with spades. And Brian's going to get this chip count right. Andy putting his flight 1E. Life at stake here.
Thought he's been right quite often today, but he hit the nail on the head on that one.
Straight down the Show worthy.
He doesn't know it, but man, yeah. That's a lot of outs out.
Board pairs. Oh, and it doesn't
Bradley
happen.
holds.
And a big hand for Bradley.
Well played there by Andy. He was running hot at the table at the beginning. Chipped up quickly, but went cold there for a while. Lost a couple of bummer spots. And there, Bradley finishes him off. Bradley playing the small ball. Prancing around, playing a lot of small pots. Somebody wants a big one. Lays down the 2 jacks to assure he stays alive. And here he is. 546,000 with 25 left.
He already has a seat.
It doesn't have no backdoor hearts, nothing. No flush draw, nothing. No heart, no heart.
And the poker here in the Millie is relentless. Sorry, Andy. We'll miss you, but the game must go on.
John Coffey, I agree with you. I did love to see that play.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Bradley's image has got earned him that. There we go, Joshua. All in. Bradley raised to 25. It's going to be 129. Oh, Resi with 2 8s. I misread that at first. I saw 8 deuce and assumed he was folding.
Rezzy's going to ask for the count.
Resi would call for that amount in a for sure heads up pot. And Bradley does call there. Joshua nursing that baby stack.
Yeah.
He wins. He's one coin flip. Resi did call.
That's not me you're trying to beat, bro. That'd be
We'll have to see what happened here. We might have missed something.
Yeah. Nope, he did not. So Resi
There it
did
is.
fold.
Okay.
And it'll be 278,000 if the jacks hold up. Although Bradley hits a queen right in the window, and now a jack and a jack only. And he hits another queen just for insurance. Bradley on a run good now. He is one of the members of the $500,000 club at 695,000.
There he is. Got over the what the average will be when we're down to 14 already. 22 players still left. Got to be good to beat Bradley. Charlie trying to ignore him there like he doesn't have chip envy. Yep, there he goes. Sneaks a little look. He was the big stack in that mega bounty there for a long time.
Yes, he was. Two and a half X here. 25,000 with the sixes. Early to act in the cutoff. Mario, let's go a king queen. Back all the way around to Abe. Abe does not back down easily. He's going to make the call here with Jack 6. One of Bradley's sixes.
Jack right in the window.
Check, check. And it just gets worse for Bradley.
Yeah, can't fold for that.
Can't fold for 10 grand, that's for sure. You're right, Eli. And check, check to showdown. And Abe will take that one down. Abe at one point was, I believe, above 400,000, so he's trying to make a climb back up again.
Yep. Yeah, lost about a half of his stack in that one really big pot.
this one, right? And the other one?
There we go. Hand 78. Bradley's on the heater.
Charles, just not seeing anything. Neither are the Marios.
Yeah, the Marios acted like they wanted to start doing something for a minute there in the middle, but they're just back to where they were. Resi with Kevin raises it up.
Any waters?
Garrett makes the call. Oh, here comes some action.
Oh. I thought good night for Garrett once already. Let's see what happens here. Again, I can see the cards, but I would not fold this to Resi right here. Another 18. He could play it cautiously. I do like this play, though.
Well, Garrett gets a couple more outs here. Besides the ace and the 10, now if a 5 hits on the river, he'll have a bigger 2 pair. And he's going to push
Garrett
all in, and a
jams
snap
there on
call
the
there.
turn.
Wow. Question from Tony as to whether we are finishing up here tonight. No, we're just going for about 5 more hands. And then we will close out for the night and be back at it again. Here comes a river. And that does not help Garrett. He is eliminated from day 1E, and now we're going down to 21 players. So 7 more players, and the 14 players from this 141 entries will receive their voucher going on to day 2. Just confirmed from the all-knowing eye in the sky, James, that we've got about 15 minutes left. And one of the things we were talking earlier about this becoming the place to be, not only to play but also to deal, and dealers coming. I am reminded, and it's been a great addition, wonderful addition to our team. James and Denise moving here from Tennessee become a part of our team. And now James, of course, the all-knowing eye in the sky. And Denise as well. They're just a great part of our team. So enjoyable. Charles is not going to wait around anymore with just 7 big blinds. He's going to push all in with 9-8 under the gun. And you can see Abe. He's done this in the past where he tries to isolate and push all in, and he does. We've seen him do this several times tonight, and it's worked a couple of times for him, but he's in a commanding lead now.
The old classic saying, works every time but one.
Thank you, Brian, for that look. And here we go. Charles. Hoping to get some help here with the 9-8. Stay alive. And he still needs a 9 or an 8. And he still needs a 9 or an 8. And doesn't get there.
Does not get there. GG, Charlie. Everybody, I mean, it's a brutal game out there. They are happy to see him go on that one. Tough competitor. Couldn't really get much going here at this table. Was trying to come here with not many chips. Just as we got a new player in, Charlie exits. Uncle Buck.
Buck coming in. 291,000. This is a feature table of day 1E.
Two-seat Mario says he's had enough. Raises it up with the ace-3. Brian gives a nice warm welcome to Buck at the table. Here's a 5-deuce offsuit for you, bud.
Yeah.
Mario shows, yeah, I got not just premiums, ace-3 here.
And then you found better opportunities.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't the one. Because it would have left me crippled.
Midwest Millie, day 1E, hand 81. Here we go.
Oh, you can't today? Okay, sorry.
It's not live.
It's not live. Yesterday was. Was that a raise or close? Raised 20.
Resi still in the lead, virtue of his Jack 10. Continuation bet could easily take this one down right away, and he's reaching for chips, and I think Mario almost beat him into the pot with the cards. So 2 players right at that 600 plus. Resi at 659,000. Bradley 640. You mentioned Eli that we're probably going to see an average chip stack going into day 2 at around 600,000. That is probably the place you're going to want to be at. I think I'd still be happy if I was 300,000.
Sure.
Going into day 2. The chip leader so far was actually from the very first flight at over 1.7 million in chips. And if you go to our Facebook page, you will see that updated every day.
Bradley loving life so much he considers raising with the Queen 5, but thinks better of it.
And Buck, second hand, he sits down, raises up, and takes down a pot. And greetings from Dallas, Texas.
Hey there, Catherine.
Catherine checking in. Last time I saw Dom, and I know I'm supposed to keep track of him, but he was out there dealing on the floor. Then all of a sudden he showed up on the chat, which made me think that he had gotten cut to go home. But I can tell you that by all appearances, Dom is looking well. Abe now under the gun, ace king suited, the goodies, raising to 26,000. Blinds now at 6, 12, and 6. Yeah, Catherine, I've got Eli in here with me, mixing things up a little bit on our live streams. In the meantime, this is hand number 83 of tonight's feature table, and oh boy, Resi with the nut flush.
Wow.
And Abe with 2 pair. And just a smooth, and I mean smooth call, but there's a brick. And does Abe think that Resi called on the draw? And is that going to impact him and his aggressiveness?
Well, there's certainly a lot of draws out there. But he wants to, yeah, I mean, it's blind versus blind. Obviously, there's some other hands, but it feels like only the flush is beating you at this point. He wants to make some money.
If you're in Resi's seat, do you feel compelled at all to try to shut this down and push all in, or at least push all in to try to get the player to come along? Or are you just going to continue to smooth here? Well, there's an answer. He's going to raise it up.
It's Abe. I mean, you got the nuts. You obviously want to get chips in there. A club kills your action.
Yeah.
So sometimes you want to raise before that happens. I like the raise here. The problem is, I mean, it looks like a flush, don't it? Check call, check raise like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would fold the ace king. You're good enough at the time. And then on top of it, you could get there with the ace or the king still. But I'm definitely not going crazy and raising with it. And neither is Abe.
Yep. That's an all-in now.
No.
No. Oh, no. That was a call.
Oh, I didn't see his lips move. Usually you can tell. Just a call.
Yeah. Just a call. Oh, you called it. Yeah.
Just like that. I guess I called it, yeah.
Yeah, another club comes out, kind of kills the action.
Rezzy really just has no choice but to bet again because he's got the nuts, so it's not like you can check to him trying to get him to bet a bigger flush.
No.
Maybe he has the jack or the worst flush, but maybe he has the jack of clubs, but that's literally the only card there.
And he's going to push all in. I have to say, I do like this bet. Anything just, half pot size or smaller would probably force Abe to fold right away, but this looks like he's trying to make a move. At least that's, I think, what Rezzy's trying to show here. And Rezzy's hoping, like you said, that he's got the jack of clubs or nine of clubs.
Just so, yeah, this spot's just so hard. I mean, you bet small, it looks like a flush. You bet big, it looks like a flush.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like, yeah, you might as well go all in because the only other alternative is, putting like a beg me 50,000 out or something like that.
Yeah.
Something that'll get called by it, but if you get called here, you're getting 6 times more than that. I'm gonna think it through here, though.
I don't blame him.
I certainly don't either.
Cheeseburger join us. Hey, Cheeseburger, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yep.
Just can't find another scenario. Rezzy shows he had it all along.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is looking at the hands, but this is one of those times. The only way it could be any different is raising on the flop.
Yeah.
But that's seeing the hands, and if he raises on the flop and he folds like an ace rag, he looks like a fool. So that's just a tough spot. Bad run out for Rezzy. Better than an ace or a king, but
yeah.
There we go.
And that'll be it for us tonight. We will be back again tomorrow night at 6:30, bringing you more poker action here from the Reserve in Toledo, Ohio. Our $1 million prize pool guarantee, $200,000 guaranteed to first place, April 3rd through the 14th. Starting tomorrow, Wednesday, there are 4 more flights, day ones, for $600 each. There are also 3 more satellites to get in. I'm sorry, I misspoke again. There's actually a second a day one. It's a turbo on Saturday.
Yep.
You caught. So yes, go to thereservepoker.com. You can check that all out and check out that information. And Eli, this has been just a pleasure.
Oh, Vic, I've had a blast.
I hope we get to do it
an
again
honor.
soon. And we want to thank everybody out there for joining us. Join us again tomorrow night. And from our family here at the Reserve, please be safe.